take the lead.
Batting second, center fielder number 8, Ryan Sluter.
The Lopes took game one 6-1, and they lost last night 6-5. This was a game we didn't expect to have, but a rainout on Saturday pushed everything a day back. Ryan Sluter, the center fielder, bats second here with 1 out in the first, just underway. We'll get you caught up on the outfield and infield momentarily here, but Jake Repovich on the hill. Repovich, a 3.29 ERA last year, record of 3-3, had 17 appearances, 13 starts, getting his first start of the year here. He's painting the outside corner quickly ahead of Sluter. No balls and 2 strikes. And Fletcher, this is a game that Lopes a chance to get a victory here and win the series against this Oklahoma State squad that came in this weekend ranked 22 in the nation.
Yeah, ranked 22 in the nation to start things off. Holes in the lineup with the loss of Donnie Walton and other key starters for Oklahoma State from last year. Battled in the first game, taking a first game win for GCU, and then deep in the hole late in the game, down 6-0. Were able to score a couple runs in the 8th, but just not able to finish it off late in the game in the 9th before falling 6-5.
0-2 to Sluter, outside corner, strike 3 called. 2 up, 2 down for Jake Repovich, and that is good to see. Repovich moved to the number 3 spot here. He threw 76 2/3 innings last year, gave up 89 hits, 35 runs, 28 were earned. He struck out 53, gets his first K of this 2017 season. That'll bring up Garrett Benj, the left-handed hitting junior third baseman, with 2 outs already here in the first inning, and that pitch in there for a strike. And we saw this same thing happen for Jake Wong in game 1, getting out ahead of guys, throwing that fastball, placing it, getting ahead of these Cowboy batters, and he had great results, a 1-hitter through 6.
Jake Wong doing well when he's ahead in the count, as Repovich is doing here, and just about every single GCU pitcher has done good things when he's ahead in the count here against Oklahoma State, and we'll see if Repovich can get things done here with an 0-2 count.
Repovich throwing to Griffin Barnes behind home plate to get his second start of the year. Josh Meyer started the other day. That one misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Real quickly around the horn, left to right in the outfield. Kona Quiggle, Preston Pavlica, Garrison Schwartz. Get used to that lineup in the outfield. That'll probably be the majority of the game. Zach Malice at third, Austin Bull at short, Greg Sines at second, and Ian Evans down at first base. The 1-2. Little chopper to the right side. First chance for Sines. Throws him out, and boy, a very quick 1-2-3 inning for GCU. Great start for Repovich. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we go to the bottom of the first, Repovich makes quick work of the Cowboys, and the Lopes will be coming right up. Well, folks, award-winning and chart-topping artists take the stage on March 22nd for the 9th Annual Rock and Worship Roadshow at GCU Arena. Experience Christian music's most uplifting and entertaining concert series for the whole family. General admission tickets are $10. Get your tickets now at gcuarena.com. That's gcuarena.com. Well, Fletcher, couldn't have asked for a better start for Repovich, his first start of the year.
Yeah, Repovich started off the season last year really well as well. On sub-2 ERA through his first 5 starts. Everybody was making fun of him for having a low ERA, about 1.79. Settled into that 3.29 range, but finished the season well and has a day 3 starter here for GCU in his junior season.
For the Lopes, Thomas LaRouge will lead things off. Austin Bull bats second. Garrison Schwartz will bat third. Ian Evans, a cleanup man, and first baseman, bats fourth. Zach Malice will bat fifth. Preston Pavlica bats sixth. And as I said, you can get used to that outfield lineup. Andy Stankiewicz, a creature of habit. You can probably get used to that first 1 through 6 most of this season. Greg Sines gets the start. Came in and pinch hit last night. Got a big pinch hit for Wyatt, and that earned him a starting spot here. Griffin Barnes back behind the plate after getting the start on Friday, and Kona Quiggle in left. So LaRouge, Bull, Schwartz, Evans, Malice, Pavlica, Sines, Barnes, and Quiggle. And they're going to face another lefty, a sophomore, Carson Teal. Teal, a 2.7 ERA, a record of 1-0 last year. 17 appearances, but no starts. So getting his first start here on the road In 16 and 2/3, he gave up 15 hits, 11 runs, 5 earned, walked 10, and struck out 17. So a couple of crafty lefties on the bump here this afternoon's contest.
A little undersized as well, both of them just about 6 feet tall, so we'll see if they can produce some deception out on the mound with their deliveries and see what they can do against the opposing teams. Thomas LaRouge starting things off.
Yeah. Jake Wong was just rearing back and firing, touching mid-90s. That one fouled back on his fastball, and spotting it after the game. Jake said what really got guys off balance was placing that first pitch fastball. He threw a slider and changed a bit, but it was really the fastball he relied on.
Yeah, and that was something that the coaching staff, especially with new pitching coach Rick Dorman, will develop these pitchers here at GCU into, is relying on that fastball and then coming at batters ahead in the count with a slider or a changeup. Wong and A.J. Franks did good with their off-speed pitches late in counts.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strike the count to Tom LaRouge, leading off for GCU. No score here in the bottom of the first. Tom 2 for 8 on the year, has scored a run, hitting .250 on this early season. LaRouge, the designated hitter in this contest, has been throughout the season so far. You know, Thomas got a lot of starts in center field and then missed a few games at the end with an injury that he sustained up in Seattle, diving for a ball and just tweaked that shoulder, ended up having some surgery in the offseason. So he's DHing here today. The 2-2 up the middle. Easy hop for the second baseman, Rosa. Throws him out just in time. So 1 up, 1 down. Both pitchers getting their first batters they faced here in this inning. Defensively, Garrett McCain in left, Ryan Sluber in center, John Littell in right. Garrett Binge at third, Jacob Chappell at short, Andrew Rosa at second, Dustin Williams is your first baseman, and behind the plate catching Carson Teal is Michael Newslifter. Austin Bull at the plate, and Bull's having a good year, picking up right where he left off from that fabulous freshman season last year. Fastball outside corner. Austin hitting .400, 4 for 10 to start this season. He's moved over from second base to shortstop so far. Sometimes that change can affect you a little bit offensively. The 0-1, a little more pressure as the shortstop than maybe the second baseman. That one in there 0-2, but so far so good, 4 for 10.
Yeah, 4 for 10, and he's gotten clutch hits. He's got an RBI and a run scored as well, and he's going to be at the top of the lineup all season long here for GCU if he produces like he's been doing so far.
0-2 up high, 1-2. Yeah, it's always fun to try to figure out what Coach Stankiewicz is going to do. He mentioned he is a creature of habit. He cut his teeth playing Major League Baseball. His favorite manager was Buck Showalter, so he kind of likes to keep a routine going the same way. The 1-2. Strike 3 called. So now both lefties have a called third strike in the first inning off the second batter they faced. And with 2 down, the preseason WAC Player of the Year, Garrison Schwartz, strides to the plate. But to finish that thought, Fletcher, the one thing we might see him do, Bull's not going to come out of the lineup much this year, might move over to second base to give Mark Mumper a few shots there at shortstop.
Yeah, that would be the only defensive change for Austin Bull throughout the season, and there's not going to be a lot of defensive changes for the Lopes around the diamond, except for at second base and maybe behind the catcher, kind of platooning those 2 positions behind the plate and out at second.
So both pitchers getting out ahead in the count. We're down, no balls and 1 strike with 2 out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the first. No score here from Brazel. That fastball just right in there. Strike 2. Looks like the Lopes are not being super aggressive against this hitter. Want to see what he's got, first start of his career. So they're going to see if they can kind of figure him out. But very quickly ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Teal's pitch, ground ball right side. Rosa takes a peek at the baseball, throws it over. So, boy, almost a carbon copy of 2 lefties here. 1, 2, 3 in the first inning for both squads. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've completed 1. No score here at Brazel.
GCU is the university that never sleeps, moving at the speed of light. And now GCU is leading in the area of computer science and IT. With over 200 university degree programs across 9 colleges, on campus and online, join the most inventive concept in education today. Fast track options available with courses in cybersecurity, cloud computing, and systems architecture. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu/IT.
Welcome back to Brazos Stadium. Michael Potter and Fletcher Like here with you. And Fletcher, two lefties, one getting his first start of his career, Teal, and Repovich his first start of the season. Both looked really good, mowing down the other lineups in order in the first inning.
Yeah, we've seen that from both starting pitchers, both nights from both teams. Getting ahead early in counts in the first inning and mowing down the lineups with no score, except for that very first inning to Tyler Buffett. GCU able to score a run in the first inning. Other than that, Carson Teal and Jensen Elliott pitching well for Oklahoma State in the first inning.
Well, both teams coming here at 1-1, wanting to get the victory or win the series. This is the rubber match. The Lopes next have the Diamondbacks at Salt River Fields on Wednesday, but no rest for the Cowboys. They go right over to Tempe and play ASU tomorrow.
Yeah, 4 games back-to-back. That only rest was Saturday, but it really wasn't a rest because you didn't know if you're going to get the game in or not. So kind of the little mind games here that the teams in Arizona are playing against this Cowboys team.
Littell, Newslifter, and Williams due up against Repovich. First pitch from Rep in there for a strike. So once again, exactly if you're the pitching coach, Rich Dorman, exactly what you want to see. Getting that first pitch strike, getting out ahead of the batters.
Yeah, Rich Dorman, a solid coaching career for the Seattle Mariners organization with the Clinton Lumberjacks and with the Everett Aqua Sox before getting some time down with the Arizona League team. But Andy Stankwitz brought him in here, and he's looking like he's been doing some quality things out in the pen and on the starting lineup rotation for GCU here with pitching staff.
Nice play by Repovich, ranging behind the mound to track that one down. So he's retired 4 in a row, and nobody's hit the ball very sharply. Newslifter, the freshman catcher at the plate now with 1 out and nobody on. There's no score here as we are in the top of the second inning. That fastball just missed the outside corner. John Schiller behind home plate. Pat Riley at first base and Jeff Macias down at third, your umpires for today. Low and away. So for the first time in now 5 batters, Repovich behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes, so a good hitters count for Newslifter. We'll see what Repovich brings here. Fouls it off. Well, he was taking a big hack at it, but fouls it back. Newslifter has played a couple games in this series, but this is his first start and his first at-bat of the series.
Yeah, you got to walk in the first 2 games of the season coming in for Travis Wacker, but this is his first official at-bat if he doesn't walk here.
Fouls it off. Drifting out of play, and that is going to be out of play. Garrison Schwartz gives it a chase. So just like that, down 2-0. Repovich battles back. 2-2 count here. Already 1 out, nobody on. And now Greg Wallace positioning the outfield a bit more toward right field. So there's a pretty good gap in left center field. Probably pitch him away here. The 2-2 from Rep. Barnes sets up on the outside corner, wouldn't chase it. So now our first full count of the ball game. 3-2 the count to Newslifter with Williams on deck.
Dustin Williams, not a guy you want to face with a runner on base either. Led the Big 12 in home runs last year with 14.
That one's ripped down the left field line. It should be extra bases. Newslifter around first, cruising into second base as Quiggle picks it up and delivers it back into the infield for a 1-out double for Newslifter. Well, that's a way for the freshman to make an impact in his first official at-bat of the year.
Yeah, that's one way to ignite the spackling of orange here at Brazos Stadium here early in the game here just in the second inning.
You see just ripped over the third baseman Malice's head, and that's a pretty good rip because Malice is a big boy down there at third base, but got it into the corner and an easy double. That'll bring up Williams, as you mentioned, not the guy you want to face. Can definitely go long here, and a left-handed hitter. The shortest fence in this ballpark is out there in right field. Goes after the first pitch and fouls it off.
Shortest corner in the stadium, and also gave some trouble to the Lopes last night. A ball getting in the corner from Andrew Rosa's double. It got out of the ballpark. A ground rule double saved the Lopes 3 runs in that game. It could have been an even bigger blowout heading to the 8th and 9th before GCU was able to cut the lead.
0-1 pitch, ground ball right side, but foul. So he's trying to get it down the right side, advance a runner at the very least, but Repovich once again ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And Newslifter down there at second base had that double with 1 out, but that was the only batter so far this game that Repovich has been behind in the count. And got it back to an even 2-2, but on that 3-2 pitch, he ripped a double.
Yeah, tough to see that pitch count rise, getting behind the count early. Newstetzer seeing a bunch of pitches before he's able to lace that one down the line.
The 0-2. Ooh, that one looked pretty good. And it's slowing away. That's a tough one to take with an 0-2 count, but Williams does. Well, you mentioned Dustin Williams only hit .218 last year, but 14 homers and 42 RBI, and those are really good numbers the way that they've kind of deadened the bat and those BB core bats a little bit here in NCAA baseball. Wooden chase outside. You know, I think Pete Incaviglia has the record with like 48 home runs for Oklahoma State, but that was back in the day when guys would hit 25, 30 home runs, you know.
Yeah,
not anymore.
You would see 4 or 5 home runs in the College World Series alone before they changed the baseball and changed the bats, and you only see 2 in an entire tournament format out at Omaha, but they've changed a little bit as the baseball has changed as well.
2-2, that one misses well outside. Yeah, we were talking about it in the press box prior to the game. Probably the 2 most recognizable and maybe the best Cowboys ever to play and stood up in the orange and black were Pete Incaviglia and Robin Ventura back kind of in my day.
Yeah, not my day.
The 3-2 with the man on second. Newslifter takes his lead. The pitch, fastball missed inside, and Rep started nibbling a bit once he got up. No balls and 2 strikes. Didn't want to groove one to Williams, and now runners at first and second. So double play in order. But a base hit. Gapper could even score 2 here.
Yeah, and if Repovich can get out of this inning with no runs scored, he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, and you'll see some emotion out of him here getting out of this jam if he can do so.
Andrew Rosa, best hitter through 2 games for Oklahoma State. 3 and 6 with a couple of doubles and a couple of RBI as he digs in from the right side. Slightly open stance there to face the lefty Repovich. Just in the second inning, no score, but a key part of the ball game early. Check of the runners in the pitch, fouled back, so he gets ahead of his batter once again. Love to see a little 6-4-3 here. Get out of this inning and get the Lopes back in the dugout. With Josh Holliday in his 5th year, record of 171 wins against 80 losses with these Oklahoma State University Cowboys, and just a phenomenal change in the culture over there. What he's done in 4 short years has been pretty remarkable with this Cowboys squad.
Yeah, gone back to the College World Series, the first time since '99 for the 20th in program history, and a team that made it to the Final Four out in Omaha, falling to Arizona before Arizona lost to Coastal Carolina. Another mid-major gives teams like GCU hope they can do things in Omaha once they become eligible.
Yeah, and that was a heartbreaker for Oklahoma State. It really looked like they were the best team at that tournament once they got to Omaha, and just mowed through the first 7 guys they faced. Ripped down the line, that's trouble. If it's fair, it's hooking, it's foul. Big sigh of relief from Repovich and the entire Antelope faithful out here at Brazel Stadium. But, boy, that could have been big trouble. Just hooked it foul. Count stays at no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, they blew through that Clemson region, just demolished Nebraska, Clemson, beat them twice back-to-back. And that super regional, they were going against probably the best team in the country in South Carolina and just beat them up 5-1, 3-1, just mowed their way in. Had a couple of back-to-back 1-0 games, and then U of A just kind of had that magic, able to take 2 from them.
Yeah, Arizona had that magic, and they weren't even expected to make postseason, right. Kind of shocking everybody here out of the Pac-12 and on the West Coast.
0-2 fouled back. Yeah, that was one of those ones where when they got the bid, everybody went, oh, that's ridiculous. You should have put somebody else in from the Pac-12, and then all they do is go and almost win the whole thing.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need. Baseball is this cool sport that the last 4 in can make an impact, and that's exactly what Arizona did. Yeah,
had a nice run and got all the way there. It looked like they were going to win it, but Coastal Carolina had that magic fairy dust going the entire year. I mean, they were a Cinderella just because they're Coastal Carolina, but they had a really good squad ranked highly all year long. So wasn't a huge surprise to a lot of baseball folks that they got that far, but when you see the name Coastal Carolina, you don't typically think of them mentioned in the same reference as U of A and Oklahoma State and Louisville and those types of teams.
It was a surprise to the people that only watch baseball during the College World Series.
Absolutely. The 0-2. Fouled back. So Rosa having a nice at-bat here. Just staying alive with Newslifter down at second and Williams down at first. Newslifter had the one-out double. Williams on by a walk. And Repovich pitch count climbing here as he's trying to get out of this second inning. No score from Brazel.
And the foul ball down the line by Rosa looked troublesome. Very similar to what he did back in the second inning last night.
Popped him up, but that's going to get out of play.
when he hit a ground rule double down that line that Quiggle lost out of play and saved 2 runs.
Good crowd out here. This is, like we said, a game we didn't expect to be playing. We're supposed to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but fortunately Oklahoma State staying around because they got to head over and play ASU tomorrow, so we're able to get this game in. You suffered through all that rain. Kind of a damp, dreary Phoenix weekend, which we don't get too often.
Felt like home from up in Oregon. Very similar weather. Check the weather app and identical temperatures and identical precipitation.
Ground ball. This is going to be tough to turn to. They're going to go to second for 1. They get the out. No, they don't. Wow. Signs unable to handle the backhand low throw from Bull, and everybody is safe. So an error for Signs. The throw was low and to the outfield side of the bag, but boy, it sure looked like Greg should have handled that. He did not. So now the base is full for Trevor Boone. Trevor Boone, the freshman DH, and this is where you really get yourself in trouble. A 1-out double, but then the walk and the E4, and now Repovich is going to have to pitch out a jam that's a bit of his own making, but definitely a jam of the Lopes making.
Yeah, it's a team sport, and that's a team situation here that the Lopes will need to get out of here against Oklahoma State.
So Boone, the righty, digs in. Swing and a miss. That was a nice pitch. Looked like a little slider cutter down low and at the toes.
Yeah, Repovich is going to need to use his experience here pitching for GCU here all 3 years that he's been here, and he's going to need to do something against his freshmen.
Boy, Repovich just going after him with that first pitch, getting ahead in the count once again. Ground ball here could get him out of the inning as well. That went in the dirt and he wouldn't chase it. 1-1 the count to Boone with Chappell on deck, and then the top of the order due up for the Cowboys. Look at like their double play depth all the way around. Malice just a few steps behind the bag. Down there at third, Evans a few steps behind the bag down at first. 1-1 pitch with 1 out. No score here. Fouled him back. 1 ball, 2 strike the count. Well, boy, these both lefties, Jake Repovich and Carson Teal, just cruised through that first inning. Now things got pretty serious here in the top of the second inning after a double, a walk, and an error.
Getting a little dicey here for Repovich here in the second, and Teal's had some time to think out in the Oklahoma State dugout and see if GCU can jump on him after a long time waiting to get back on the field.
The 1-2, fouled it back. Well, this isn't a bat similar to what Rosa put together. Just staying alive, fouling him back after you get a couple strikes on you, and Rosa able to put it in play. A tough play to the backhand for Bull at short, and his throw over to second was a little low and couldn't be handled by the second baseman, Greg Signs. Signs in there, more for his offense than his defense in this game tonight. The 1-2, fouled back. I saw Andy Stankiewicz prior to the game. I was chatting him, and I said, the change offensively, do you lose much defensively? And he kind of shook his head. Didn't really want to say so, but said, yeah, we lose a bit defensively going from Tyler Wyatt to Greg Signs. But Greg's good. He has faith in him. But he knew he was giving up a little bit defensively.
Yeah, Tyler Wyatt, very athletic, pitching out on the mound last year and playing in the field.
Yeah.
5.58 ERA out on the mound, and then comes in, plays second base, starts 2 games here for GCU here in the opener.
We saw him everywhere last year. Well,
first base, third base, on the mound.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Chased a high one out of the zone. And Repovich gets a much-needed strikeout, his first in the inning, his second of the day.
Yeah, Repovich needed that one against the freshman coming in his first at-bat for the Cowboys. Repovich using that experience to overpower Boone here in that situation.
Well, you go from a freshman to a junior, and Jacob Chappell due up, the number 9-hole hitter. So this will be the 6th batter of the inning that Repovich will face. No score here, but the bases full of Cowboys.
Chappell went 1 for 2 yesterday with a pair of walks and a run scored, and not a lot.
Fastball up high and wouldn't chase it.
Hasn't done a lot for the Cowboys offensively here, hitting in the 9 spot, and Repovich will need to take advantage of that.
Well, he started 11 ball games last year, played 36 ball games. Repovich really taking his time. This game slowing down a bit. Hit sub 200 last year. That's a huge strikeout, though, of Boone, because now Cowboys got to have a 2-out base knock. Swing and a miss. Another high fastball challenged him. That one a little bit closer to the zone, but still out of the zone. And Chappell could not catch up to it. Boy, that high fastball, especially from a lefty to right, just looks so appetizing. You can't lay off it.
It's something that we've seen a lot here from the press boxes, pitchers for GCU attacking the top of the zone, not necessarily going low in the zone like they have in the past with pitching coach Nathan Choate. Attacking the zone, Jeremy Smith last night, pitching up in the zone, didn't really hurt him until he gave up that monster's home run to left field, but GCU attacking the top of the zone and then coming down low with breaking balls.
That one foul back. 1 ball, 2 strike to count. So now Repovich just a strike away from getting out of the inning and stranding 3. He's only given up 1 hit in this inning. This is 1 hit in the ball game. That was the 1-out double to Newslifter. He's down there at third. The pitch. Chopper. Malice takes the easy way, steps on third, and that is the inning. No runs on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 3 left on base. Repovich pitches out of a jam. No score here at Brazil as we go to the bottom of the 2nd.
GCU now offers a unique opportunity to earn your doctorate through an on-campus evening cohort. Doctorate programs in education and in philosophy are enrolling now. Scholarships are available. The next evening cohort begins in March. For more information, visit gcu.edu/doctoral/2017. That is gcu.edu/doctoral2017. You can take cohorts 1 night a week, and they're very convenient. GCU is offering new programs all the time.
Well, Repovich pitches out of a jam there, and that one faces 6 batters in the inning, but some nifty pitching. The key at bat with the bases loaded, getting that strike out of the number 8 hole hitter, Trevor Boone, that really helped him out. And then with the Cowboys needed a 2-out base, it couldn't get it done.
Yeah, Repovich using his experience over the freshman Boone, overpowering him offensively, using his pitching repertoire, his multiple pitches to be able to get Boone out of that with strikeout. And then a ground ball at third base. Malice takes care of it, and they got out of the inning with bases loaded.
And now we'll see how the freshman lefty, or the sophomore lefty does. Teal had a great first inning, but now he's going to face the heart of the order 4, 5, and 6 for the Lopes.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The 4, 5, 6 part of the lineup for the Lopes is potent. They haven't necessarily shown it over the course of the series, but you don't want to get out behind against this part of the lineup here, especially with Ian Evans leading things off.
Yeah, you got Evans, Malice, and Pavlica, and as you mentioned, these guys are I think the Lopes are really going to rely on these guys to drive in a lot of runs. You throw Gary Schwartz in there as well, the number 3 hole hitter. This is a lineup that's going to cause some trouble in the Western Athletic Conference in that heart of the order.
Yeah, the heart of the order is going to be the prime spot for GCU, the 4, 5, 6 guys. Evans with 5 RBIs in the first 2 games for his career here after transferring from Gateway College. Phenomenal numbers here to open the series.
Pitch misses outside. 1-0 the count to Evans. Has had base hits in both of the games there he's played in. The junior from Gateway College. That one, down in there for a strike. That one looked pretty low, but no balls. Or actually 1-1 the count now to Evans with Malice on deck. That one got under it a bit to the right side. Williams going back, gives away to the right fielder. Littell makes the grab in fair territory for the first out of the inning. So nobody so far getting a good at-bat here against Teal, and that'll bring up Zach Malice. Malice played a lot of first base last year. Over the summer, they moved him over to third, played really well. He played a couple of games up at Northern Colorado late in the year at third base and really liked the way that looked. They eventually make the change over the summer. Now he's going to more than likely be their everyday third baseman for the majority of the season.
Yeah, he's a long, athletic third baseman, the athletic frame.
One pitch, grounds it right down to Williams at first, and so Teal continues to cruise here in the second inning. That'll bring up Pavlica. Pavlica jumped into the starting lineup about a third of the way into the season last year, mainly as a left fielder. And it's funny talking to Coach Stankwitz about a month ago, and he said, you're going to go Garrison Schwartz in right, LaRouge in center, Pavlica in left. He said, man, Preston really wants to play center field. He's putting the pressure on Tom LaRouge, and so he won that spot. Fastball strike.
Yeah, and Tom's still dealing with some of that injury from last year that he sustained on diving play. And he's been able to bat, but he hasn't really produced and rehabbed that shoulder all the way back. So just in there as a DH so far through this first series against Oklahoma State.
1-1 the count. We're in the bottom of the second. No score here from Brazel. Cowboys stranded 3. Had the bases loaded with 1 out. Great opportunity, but Repovich pitched his way out of it. Pavlik at .294 last year, 3 homers, 24 RBI. Ripped down the third. Gloved by Binge in the dirt. Does Williams pick it? Yes, he does. So they made it interesting down there. But a little 5-3 put out. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base as we have completed 2. No score here from Brazel.
Earning your RN to BSN degree online doesn't have to be without the college experience. Finding your purpose takes support from those around you. GCU's leadership offers over 3 decades of experience delivering our accredited RN to BSN program 100% online. Graduate in as few as 16 months, learning from full-time practicing nurse faculty in small classes. Integrate your education with your faith and Christian worldview.
Find your purpose online at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Welcome back to Brazel Stadium. Michael Potter and Fletcher Like here with you. And Fletcher, we go to the third, no score, but the Cowboys are kicking themselves. Had the bases loaded with 1 out, couldn't get anybody across. Jake Repovich, you're seeing him right here, had a fantastic first inning, struggled a bit in that second inning. Got to get it back together here in the third.
Yeah, short rest there out in the dugout after the Lopes sat down in order there by Carson Teal. And the sophomore's moving here as the day 3 starter for Oklahoma State in his first career start.
Yeah, he has faced the minimum. Just 6 batters. Repovich has faced all 9, and so as we go to the third, it'll be McCain, Schluter, and Benj due up. And Repovich had good fortune against these guys. They could never really quite figure him out, and we'll see if he can match that again here this time. McCain, 0 for 1, had a ground out to Malice down at third base.
Yeah, McCain hasn't gotten on base to lead things off yet. He's going to lay down a bunt here.
That's a nice bunt. Going to be trouble. Malice makes the throw, not in time. Base hit single on the bunt from McCain. And once again, a runner on. But the first time that the Cowboys had the leadoff man on a board in this ball game. No score as we are in the third.
Yeah, McCain swiped 18 of 20 bags last year. He's 2 for 2 on stolen bases. 1 for 1 on stolen bases this year. Perfect bunt down that third baseline in troublesome areas. Mouse really wasn't expecting that one off the bag there over there at third base.
Yeah, Zach made the best play he could, but he was just camped too far back. Made a nice throw over there, but just not in time. So that'll bring up Schluter. We'll see if they try to run against Griffin Barnes. They're going to try to bunt him over. That pitch missed somewhere. 1-0 the count. Schluter struck out looking his first time up. Checking the runner. Not a huge lead over there, but Rep's going to throw over anyways.
Yeah, just keeping McCain honest over there. He's got a stolen base, swiped 18 last year, so he's definitely got speed over there at first base. McCain. And Ryan Schluter's got speed too. Stole a base off Griffin Barnes in the first inning back on the 17th in the home opener.
Ball gets away, but fouled back, so the count goes to 1-1 strike. Well, Repovich, unfortunately, getting accustomed to pitching with men on base. So he had the sacks full last inning. Still not a huge lead over there, the 1-1. Bunting again. Pulled the bat back, low and away, and it just looks like Repovich, the coaches always say you got to trust your stuff, and I'm not sure if he's just trying to get a little too cute on the corners. I mean, you know the guy's going to bunt, so in some ways, throw him a fastball, try to keep it up a little bit if you know the guy's going to bunt here, and he's trying to nibble a bit here. 2-1 count. See if they still bunt here, if they try to, nope, they're bunting again, and that one bunted foul. behind the catcher, Griffin Barnes. So now, just like that, a 2-ball, 2-strike count, you would imagine they're not going to be bunting here. They do sometimes, but you'd imagine they wouldn't.
Yeah, you never know, and they're willing to give up an out, so they might even be willing to give up an out to try to squeeze everybody over and try to get a base hit bunt here with a runner on first base with two guys that have speed. It could be happening here from Josh Holliday and his staff, but most likely going to be swinging away here with 2-2.
Throw over, runner back. McCain doesn't seem to have that base stealer lead over there like he's planning to go.
You don't want to get picked off on that left-handed 45-degree attempt to home and then steps over to first base.
He extended it a bit there just after I said that and had to go back head first. A little slide step off the back of the rubber and fire that sidearm that those lefties make look so cool. Righties don't have a play like that. You know, the lefties they step off, throw it over there. Righties got to work harder to get the ball over there. The 2-2. The pitch. He is bunting, gets it down. That should do the trick, too, for the Cowboys. So 1-3 on the put out on the sack bunt, and that puts a runner in scoring position with one out in the heart of the order coming up. Jared Benj, the number 3 hole hitter, ground out to second. He's 0 for 1 in this ball game.
3 for 9 in the series with an RBI, and he's got a runner in scoring position here and can make it 2 RBIs in the season here with one swing of the bat.
Yeah, this was one where with 2 strikes, he was definitely going to get this one fair. He did a good job, though. Push it to the right side with Repovich falling off there toward third base.
Yeah, great bit of bunting there with 2 strikes in a very stressful situation as a batter be told to bunt with 2 outs and 2
That
strikes.
might get to the hole off the glove. Would have been a tough play either way, but kept that thing alive and allowed, if that ball goes into the outfield, they might have tried to score McCain there because it wasn't hit very hard. So runners at the corners after a base hit single that just had some eyes there.
Yeah, tough play there for Bull, deep in the hole. And he couldn't really muster that one and keep a hold of it. Another tough pressure situation here for Jake Repovich with runners on the corners, only 1 out. Double play is in order, though. So we'll see if he can produce a ground ball in the middle of the infield and give Greg Steins another turn at that double play ball.
Down low to Littell. 1-0. So runners at the corners. We had bases loaded in the last inning. How many times can Repovich pitch out of a jam here?
It's going to be tough against a ranked opponent like Oklahoma State.
Littell ground out to the pitcher. Ooh, squared to bunt there. You don't see that a lot with the number 4 hole hitter. Squaring around to bunt. So you've got McCain down at third, Benj at first. We'll see if they try any trickery here, maybe get the runner going with 1 out and a 2-0 count. Rep's going to have to come in to Littell. The pitch. Tried to bunt that one. And it wasn't a suicide squeeze, just a little safety squeeze bunt there. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. So interesting early in the game here, even with the Hardy order coming up. The Cowboys playing a little small ball here, trying to move runners around. Must feel like, and they might have every right, the way their pitcher, Carson Teal's dealing, that 1 or 2 runs might win it for him here tonight.
Yeah, and that's what you thought last night, too, with the way Jensen Elliott was pitching. 1 run, 2 runs was going to be able to get it done. And Jensen Elliott could have almost gone more than 6 1/3, getting pulled after a 1-out single in the 7th. But his pitch count up at 80, 85, and Josh Holliday deciding to pull him early in the season. You don't want to run his pitch count up too early in the season when you got a loaded Big 12 schedule on the slate.
Well, once again, Repovich gets it to a 2-2 count. Snap there over to first, and runner Benj dives back safely. Well, the Lopes have yet to figure out the lefty in the orange, Carson Teal. No runs, no hits. Haven't even had a man on against him. The 2-2 from Repovich. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Froze Littell. That would look to be a bit low and inside, but we will take it. 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Repovich, and for the 2nd inning in a row with runners on and just 1 out, he gets a big strikeout here. And we watched the replay. Wow, that was actually a pretty good pitch. I mean, it looked like it was cutting in on the batter, but better than I thought from the naked eye up here.
You got some late tail on that pitch, and Littell just had some ankles stuck in the dirt there and wasn't able to move. And
couldn't pull the trigger on that one. Well, this is a guy, Newslifter, who doubled on a fastball inside back in the second inning, but was stranded down at third with the bases loaded. Ground ball to second. This should do it. Signs has got it. He'll go the quick way to Bull. And once again, for the second inning in a row, with a runner down at third, Jake Repovich gets a big strikeout with one out, and then gets the inning to conclude without letting a run across. So no runs on a couple of hits. There were no errors, and 2 men left on base for Oklahoma State. We go to the bottom of the third. No score here at Brazil. The Southwest Gospel Music Festival has returned to the GCU Arena this weekend. Today is the last day of this 2-day event. Buy tickets for single sessions are still available. Enjoy some of the talented singing groups in the gospel community at GCU Arena. Get your tickets at gcuarena.com. Well, you can see the Lopes dugout there. Repovich taking a drink of water, and he's pitched out of a couple of jams, but really needs to get the offense going here. It'll be the bottom third for the Lopes. Signs, Barnes, and Quiggle due up against Carson Teal, who has faced the minimum and set down the first 6 Lopes batters he's seen in this ballgame.
Yeah, the Lopes need to do something offensively. GCU hasn't had an answer for Carson Teal yet this game through 2 innings, getting their third look at him. The first look for Signs, Barnes, and Quiggle. But they're going to need to give Repovich a little bit of a breathing opportunity here in the dugout and get some base runners to force Carson Teal's pitch count up a little bit and maybe force him out of this ballgame earlier than the 6th inning.
Greg Signs getting his first start of the season. Came in as a pinch hitter, got a base hit, was 1 for 2 on the season. Gets to start at second base. So he'll lead off this inning. Griffin Barnes and Kona Quiggle to follow. And Signs is one of those guys that just really continually challenges and seems to get the good hit when they need it, hitting .278 last year in 38 ball games. Had a couple of home runs and 13 RBI for GCU, and he's going to be battling for this second base, probably the best spot for him. He can play a little first, he can play a little third, but really, we've talked before, those corners might be pretty solid here for the Lopes right now.
Yeah, those corners are going to be really hard to take over, and he played shortstop in high school, so a little move over to second base isn't the end of the world for Greg Signs. Middle infield a little bit more comfortable for him. He had to play out of position at third and first here for GCU in his first couple seasons.
The 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1. Well, we are in the bottom of the third. No score here from Brazil, but you look over the scoreboard and no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 5 runners left on for the Cowboys. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on for the Lopes. The 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. We talked about what Josh Holliday has meant to this Oklahoma State team in his 5th year for 170 wins. Got him back to the College World Series. The 2-1 bounces it up there, and it's very similar what Stankiewicz has been doing here in his 6th year. 155 wins against 116 losses, and this is a program that's seen 4 NAIA national championships, 3 in a row, 80, 81, 82, and then 1 in 86. And that one ripped to left. Boy, that's got a chance up, and over the wall for a home run. Greg Signs, but just like that. Boy, that thing continued to fly. Signs comes in and gives the Lopes the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and just like that, a big rip on the ball there by Greg Signs in his first start of the season here for GCU. Lifts one over the left field wall. No wind, so it wasn't like that one was getting an extra push through the weather.
That was all him right there.
That was all power there from Greg Signs.
About 380 over the scoreboard, and just a rip, and just like that, Carson Teal had been dealing, but he got behind in the count, 3-1, and grooved a pitch. And now that'll bring up Griffin Barnes. Lopes lead at 1-0, and boy, so many chances for Oklahoma State. Can't get anybody across. They've stranded 5 and a 1 swing of the bat. Teal now behind in this game, 1-0.
He's only made 1 mistake all game long, and that was just 1 pitch. So sometimes that can hurt you big time, and that's what it did right there. First run of the game.
Signs just 2 home runs last year for GCU, but we've seen glimpses of that power, and it was on display right there. The 1-1 ripped in the hole, off the glove of the shortstop. Chapel couldn't corral it in the hole and got back-to-back base hits, and Griffin Barnes is aboard for GCU.
His first single of the season as well. All smiles over there at first base for Griffin Barnes. Pulled that one into the hole at short and third, and Chapel just didn't really have a big play on the ball sliding to his right side.
And now Quiggle in number 9 hole hit it in .375 on the season, 3 for 8 with a couple of runs scored, 1 RBI. We'll see if the Lopes do something here with the top of the order on deck, and nobody out. Already up 1-0 on the home run from Signs. A throw over, and Barnes gets back to the bag a little awkwardly. Foot slid off the bag, and now he's going to have to kind of walk that off. He might have tweaked his ankle over there. Greg Bordas, coaching at first base, is going to have a chat with him. Well, he came back in and put that foot right on top of the bag, and it just slid right off awkwardly. Landed weird. Bordas coaching down there at first, the volunteer assistant coach, and then you got Andy Stinkowitz with a return to the third base coach's box. He's been in the dugout the last 5 years. Eagles going to bunt. Takes a strike on the outside corner. So both teams looking to move runners over. Andy wants to get a man in scoring position with the top of the order, and LaRouge and Bull coming up.
Definitely want to get Griffin Barnes in scoring position here with Bull and LaRouge due up if Quiggle can move him over. And then get Garrison Schwartz hopefully into the mix as well here in the bottom of the third.
Lopes lead it at 1-0. Barnes back. Barnes did steal a base last year. You know, the two areas we're going to see some guys still having a chance to win are second base and catcher. Last year, catcher was another position where nobody really took it till the end of the year. Jared McDonald played very well the last 10, 12 games of the year. The 0-1 in there for a strike, 0-2. And I think it's going to be kind of the same this year between Meyer, Barnes, and McDonald. I haven't seen McDonald yet, but he's going to be in the mix.
Yeah, we came up here early today and thought, hey, maybe Jared McDonald's going to be in the lineup. Back to Griffin Barnes, but it could be a position where you see a different catcher every single game of a 3-game series, and then that midday, midweek kind of game is an up in the air coin toss that Andy Stankiewicz and the rest of his coaching staff go, hey, let's play cards or something for that starting position behind the plate midweek games.
Just a little bit outside. Teal trying to nibble on that outside corner. Count goes to 1-2 strikes. Stankiewicz going through the signs. Of course, Andy, an assistant coach for a number of years over at ASU, coached third base, and no stranger. When I asked him earlier why the change, said he just wanted to kind of control the running game a bit more from on the field. Strike 3 called. He went outside 2 or 3 in a row, and then came back in on the inside corner. Second strike out of the ball game for Teal, and that's the first out of the inning. In the top of the order, Tom LaRouge coming to the plate.
Yeah, Thomas LaRouge, 2 for 8 in the season coming into today, and now he's 2 for 9 with a run scored. And LaRouge will have an opportunity here against the lefty to move Griffin Barnes over with 1 out.
So LaRouge grounded out to second, his only at bat out of this ball game. See, they put something on here. Pretty good contact. Nothing going in the dirt, ball 1. They really got that outfield shifted around toward left field. Pretty good gap in the right center and down the right field line. They're pitching him outside, 2-0. Well, Teal just cruised the first 2 innings. Leadoff batter in this one, Greg Signs, took a 3-1 pitch over the scoreboard in left center field, and that's where we stand, 1-0 Lopes. Taking a look at Barnes down at first. The 2-0, that's a fastball in the inside corner. Well, he's moving the ball around pretty well. We saw him strike out Quiggle. A couple outside pitches, got one on the corner, moved it out a little bit outside. Quiggle wouldn't chase it, then came back in with a fastball inside.
He's hit his spots just about every single pitch as well, except for that mistake to Greg Signs on that home run. But Carson Teal's been pitching very well except for that one mistake. He only allowed 2 hits. And if it wasn't for that home run there by Greg Signs, it'd still be 0-0.
Yeah, that was the one oops, and it went about 400 feet.
It's got to go about 400 feet to leave the yard here at Brazos Stadium. So anything's a jack here.
Up the middle. Great play by Rosa. Gets the out at second. Not going to get LaRouge, but what a phenomenal play by the second baseman, Andrew Rosa. That had first and third written all over it.
He got a lucky bounce there off the top of the mound that kind of pushed the ball back towards the second base side of the bag. And if it hadn't taken that hop, it might have gone into the center field grass. But a great dive there by Rosa over at second base to keep that one in front of him and flip it over to shortstop.
So it'll be up to Austin Bull with LaRouge at first. We'll see if they try to run Tommy here. Try to get him in a scoring position with your number 2 hole hitter at the plate. Bull, a strikeout victim, his first at bat. Lopes lead at 1-0. We are in the third. Fastball missed outside. That one tailed away from Bull. Bull having a fantastic freshman season for GCU. Faltered a bit down the stretch, but typically you see these high school kids, they play 25, 26 games in high school, and then they come in after play 50-some to throw over in LaRouge back. And so he just kind of tired out a bit down the stretch, but great numbers, 285, no homers, 20 RBI, had 11 stolen bases, and played a very good defensive second base out there for the Lopes with Paulie Panachone at short.
Big adjustment from high school to college baseball.
Popped him up right side. Drifting back is Littell. He's got room, makes the grab. And so the Lopes are able to get one. The leadoff home run by Greg Sines gives them a 1-0 lead, but they do strand a runner here in the third. 1 run on a couple of base hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. We have completed 3. Folks, don't go anywhere. The head coach of the men's basketball squad, Dan Marley, going to make his way over here and chat with us a bit in the press box when we come back. 1-0 Lopes as we go to the 4th.
Hey Phoenix, it's Thunder Dan Marley, head coach at Grand Canyon University. Coming to GCU was a great move for me. Join Antelope Nation by enrolling as an evening student at our beautiful campus in the heart of Phoenix. Earn your bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree to take your career to the next level. Engage with industry expert instructors in small classroom settings where you can get the support you need to excel. Scholarships available. See you on campus. Go Lopes.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu/evening.
Welcome back to Brazel Stadium. Michael Potter, Fletcher Like with you, and the Lopes lead at 1-0 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. The 1 run coming on a Greg Sines home run, leading off the 3rd. And so Repovich will face Williams, Rosa, and Boone. And we're joined by the head coach of the men's basketball squad, Dan Marley. And Coach, no stranger to the ball field, huh? Beautiful weather.
Day. Beautiful.
Yeah, we got the rain out. We wouldn't have been able to see any of these ball games. We were up at Utah Valley, but able to see one now.
Yeah, and I was following them, and they won that first game and lost a close one last night. But, yeah, it's a great day to play baseball. And Lopes got out of a few jams there early and then come in and hit that home run, so it looks good.
Some nice pitching by Repovich to get out of those jams. A couple of them, a little bit of his making, a little bit of the team's making with some errors. But, boy, some good pitching. And as I mentioned, you're no stranger here. You played ball. When did you quit playing ball? You played at Central Michigan for, 2 years?
Yeah, I played in high school and I was an all-state catcher, went to Central, was able to play a couple of years. I played my sophomore and junior year, played a little right field and first base, and then my senior year I got invited to the Olympics, so I decided to train for that instead of play my senior year, and actually was on a team that won a MAC championship. So the Chippewas have a good baseball program, and grew up a big baseball fan.
Flared out to left, and Quiggle settles under it to make the grab. Well, Andy Stankiewicz doing the exact same thing that a lot of the coaches here are doing, that you've been doing as well, playing the toughest competition. As we watch that replay fly out to left, Andrew Rosa at the plate with 1 out, and the Lopes up 1-0 in the 4th. But you guys aren't shirking anybody on the men's basketball squad, playing Louisville, U of A this year, Duke this year, Kentucky. Coach Stankiewicz starting off with the number 22 team in the country.
Yeah, and Andy's done a great job. They had a really good program before we even turned Division I, and had played a lot of really good teams. So he's trying to gear up just like we are and everybody here at Grand Canyon, and for next year when we're able to tournament. So we want to play the best possible, and it's always good to have a team of Oklahoma State's reputation and the way they play to come here and play us on our home field, and it's a lot of fun for all the fans, and as they rip one up the middle for a base hit. But it's fun for fans to come out here and see a top 25 program like Oklahoma State, and the Lopes are right there with them. So not only us, but baseball, softball's off to a great start, 10-1. Track and field's always been good. Volleyball's got Ohio State coming up this next weekend. So everybody's really trying to gear up for what's coming.
Rosa gets his 4th hit of the season, and he's on at first with 1 out. That'll bring up Trevor Boone, a strikeout victim, back in the 2nd. The Lopes lead at 1-0 here in the 4th inning. Had you not gotten that offer to try out for the Olympics, would you have played your senior year? Do you think you would have gone baseball instead of basketball, or was basketball always the way you were going to go?
I got a lot better in basketball than in baseball. I played a lot of, I went there as a scholarship player for basketball. I think if I would have really, put my heart and soul into baseball and concentrated, I could have been a pretty good player. But I just really enjoyed playing, and I was good enough to play college baseball, and they allowed me to go on there and play and be a part of the team. But my heart was always with basketball, and I got better at basketball. So that's what I knew I was going to be really good at. But I enjoyed both sports, and I had a good time playing baseball. And up to a couple years ago, I still played baseball here. I played in the men's league, so it's just a sport I really enjoy.
Pitch catch the outside corner, 1-1 to Trevor Boone with Rosa down there at first. Lopes lead at 1-0 here in the top of the fourth. The sun really peeking out now for a beautiful day. Yeah, we saw you throw out the first pitch in softball a couple years ago, and had the fast pitch under in softball, just blew it by everybody for a strike.
I grew up playing fast pitch softball too. My dad had a team. He was a pitcher. I was a first baseman. My older brother was a third baseman, so I learned to pitch a little bit in that league. And as when I grew up as a youngster, I played whatever sport was in season. I played football, I played baseball, I played softball, basketball. Unfortunately, these days, kids kind of grow up a one sport kind of athlete, and they kind of have to do it if they want to excel in that. But I played whatever is that season, wherever I was involved. My dad did a lot of intramural sports, so I played a lot of different sports, and fast pitch softball is one of them. That's big up in Michigan in the Midwest. It's a big sport.
Throw over in the runner back, 2-1 count to Trevor Boone with Rosa down at first with one out here in the fourth inning. Lopes up 1-0, and Repovich getting in a little bit of jam. That one gets away from Boone on the wild pitch, goes all the way back. I think Rosa's going to try to go to third, and he's going to make it without a throw.
Yeah, couldn't find it. Didn't get much help from his teammates. Probably the dugout. I don't know. The catcher couldn't find it. Bound away. Took him a few seconds to find it. Good heads up by the runner. Never really slowed down. Turned the base, and he knew he was in.
Yeah, you mentioned it. No help at all. Typically, the pitcher's screaming and yelling, especially when it's down that close to your dugout.
What are the Havocs doing over there, man? The Havocs could be on that.
They're eating popcorn, man.
Eating popcorn and enjoying the sun.
What's up with that?
I'm going to have to talk to him. Where's Slippery Steve when you need him?
You're going to head down there. He'll listen to you. He'll pay attention to you. Well, Coach, 3-1 count now with the tying run down at third base with one out. Repovich has pitched out of jams with runners on third the last 2 innings, and he's going to have to do it again here. That one fouled off, so he gets to count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Successful road trip for you guys. It was hard fought, but a couple of good wins over Seattle and Utah Valley.
Yeah, anytime you go on the road, especially those two places, Seattle really gives us a tough time every time we play them. We got lucky to escape them here. We won by 2. We played it on their campus, was something that we usually don't do.
Chopper to third. They're going to come to the plate.
Nice.
Should have him, and
Beautiful.
they do.
Really? I don't know if he was going on contact or nothing, but he's not going to score.
Looked like
on
it,
that.
didn't it?
Yeah, maybe he had to be going on contact because usually, from first to third or grounder to first or third, you're not going to be able to score. So he must have been running on contact. So a really good break for the Lopes there. Great play and getting himself out of another jam here with 2 outs.
Yeah, Taylor made by Malice, and third baseman just picks it up easy.
Beautiful.
Good slide by Rosa to try to get around, but Barnes had it. So that was a good play by the catcher. You were a
Great
catcher.
play, yeah. You got to
Nicely
get
done.
in there. Yeah, you get a little physical. Love that stuff.
Give
but
a little business with the
love
glove and the ball.
But, yeah, we were able to
Ooh, Chappell drives one to right. Swartz coming in, makes the grab, and that is the inning to get out of. Again, Coach, finish that thought, and then we'll let you go. I know you're a busy guy.
Seattle always gives us trouble. We played on campus for the first time. We usually play in Key Arena and had a hard time. We got down 24-9, and we ended up getting back and storming back and winning that game. And then off to Utah Valley, who's always tough at home. And we did a great job there. Was down late in the second half and found a way to win. So anytime you go on the road and win 2 games, especially those 2 teams, it's a big deal, and we needed those wins.
Hey, Coach, congratulations so far on a great season. Chance to get your 20th win on Thursday night against Chicago State.
Yeah, you look back at it, we wanted to win 20 this year, and with all our injuries, with the schedule we played, hopefully we can do that still. You never want to count on wins, but it's good to be back home. And Chicago State's a team that had us down 20 at half there, so we're going to have to play well to beat them, obviously. And then senior night on Saturday against UMKC, so very excited about that. And then the last game, which would be if we take care of business here, which is a big if, but we want to, and then we go to Bakersfield there for their senior night, and they're atop of the WAC right now, so it should be a fun 3 games for us.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on a great season so far, and we'll see you at the arena on Thursday night.
All right, thank you.
That's head coach Dan Marley with his thoughts, joining us here. The Lopes lead at 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And I want to remind you folks to check out the latest from the College of Theology's blog Living Faith. This Christian blog covers biblical, theological, and practical topics, all written by GCU faculty and special guests. Go to blogs.gcu.edu/COT. That's blogs.gcu.edu/COT. Nice of Coach Marley to swing by after practice and had the whole staff out here checking out the ball game. And, you know, right when they got here, the Lopes pitched out of a couple jams and got a nice run here. So for GCU, it'll be 3, 4, and 5. Heart of the order due up here as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Garrison Schwartz takes a strike 1. Gary ground out to second to end the 3rd inning. Now 0-1. So Schwartz, Evans, and Malice. 1-0 Lopes. That one tailed inside, almost hit him. 1-1 the count. Lopes got their lone run on a solo homer leading off to the 3rd by Greg Sines. The 1-1. Missed outside. 2-1 the count. Well, Teal, as we mentioned, cruised through the first couple of innings here, faced the minimum, and it was Greg Sines who got things going for the Lope. A 3-1 count and just ripped it over the left field wall. That one's up the middle. Rosa with the chance to the backhand. Strong throw in time. Rosa playing a good defense over there at second base. Had the great diving play to flip over to the shortstop and get the force out back in the 3rd, and that'll bring up Ian Evans with 1 out and nobody on. Evans flew out to right. His last time up, he had been arguably the best hitter for the Lopes so far in these first couple of ball games. Digs in against Teal. First pitch down low. Ball 1. And Fletcher, good to catch up with the head coach, Dan Marley. You know, he was a big baseball player himself, played through his junior year at Central Michigan, was a catcher. Can't believe that guy. That's a big catcher back there. You don't want to run into that guy.
No, I don't want to run into that guy anytime, whether that's on the basketball court or behind the plate.
He liked that play at the plate. He thought Griffin, though, should have given a little more business to the little harder tag, maybe. That's how they did it back in the day.
It was a good play there by Zach Malice to read that.
Hit pretty well to center, but now stopping in his tracks and standing right there is Schluter to make the grab. Got under it just a bit. So 2 up and 2 down. The heart of the order has struggled against Teal. They are 0 for 5, cumulative 3, 4, and 5 hole hitters. That'll bring up Zach Malice with a couple of outs and nobody on. Malice, a nice defensive play. It was really tailor-made, that man coming home. Got the high chopper, but sometimes you overthink that. You sail the ball, you make a bad throw. He made a perfect throw to Griffin.
Yeah, quality, just clinical right there. Just to get the out, don't try to do anything special, throw a strike home. That's exactly what he did, and then leave it to Barnes to apply the tag.
1-0 the count to Malice. He ground out to the first baseman his last time up. Ground ball down first. That's a foul ball. Ooh, that was very close. It was a 1 ball and 1 strike. Then it would have been a foot race between Teal and Malice. Teal got a good jump, though. I think he would have beat him there. It would have been a tough throw from the first baseman, but it's all for naught. Everybody goes back to their respective positions, and we go with the 1-1 count. And still the difference in this ball game, the solo homer by Greg Sines.
Yeah, Greg Sines is getting a piece of that ball, and Jake Repovich has been able to pitch out of a couple jams with base runners in scoring position. A couple times runners at third base, but he's able to get out of it with no runs crossing the plate.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Yeah, you look at what Repovich has been able to do. He had the bases loaded in the 3rd. He had runners at the second, runners at the corners in the 3rd with 1 out, and he had a man on 3rd with 1 out in the 4th. The 1-2 up the middle. Chappell's got it behind the bag. Strong throw. Did he get him? He did. Bang, bang play down at first. And the umpire down there, Pat Riley, says he got him. We will take a look here. As it stands now, it's the 3rd out of the inning. Malice sees the fielder make the play, and ooh. Okay, you be the judge of that one. We'll go to break. 1-0. Sines the solo homer, the difference as we go to the 5th. This is Lopes Baseball on GCU TV.
I'm Dominique. I'm a student here at Grand Canyon University studying hospitality management. My hospitality courses here are giving me a high quality education from professors others that I know have been successful. Being able to work while I'm in school has enriched my college experience. I feel like I know where I'm going and what I want to do. When they say find your purpose, they mean it.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Well, Fletcher, you make the call. Out or safe at first base for Zach Malice. We showed you that going out to the break.
Watching the replay, it still looked really, really close, even in slow motion. So I don't know.
I want you to make a decision. You said it really, really close. What do you think? Safe or out?
I mean, as an umpire myself, umpiring, I would have called him out. Unfortunately,
well, there you go.
But bang bang play
You're
there.
getting booed out of the press box. They want you to leave. Take your headset off and go.
I'll go.
Yeah, bang bang play. Could have gone either way. Pat Riley with a very definitive call. I like it when they make a definitive call. I don't like when they kind of wade him and haw. Boom, called him out. That's the way it goes. The Lopes go down 1, 2, 3, and we go to the 5th. They lead at 1-0. Bottom 2, then the top of the order. Actually, Chapel, number 9 hitter. No, they're at the top of the order. Excuse me. Garrett McCain leading things off. So McCain, Schluter, and Binge due up, and that pitch misses outside ball 1. I was talking to Coach Marley, and I forgot who made the last out of the last inning. The 1-0, right side. Evans calls everybody off, makes the grab just like that. First batter retired.
And McCain got stranded over there at third base back in the third after he led off, and then he pops up right there to begin the inning.
Yeah, got under it. He is 1 for 3 on the day now. That'll bring up Schluter. First pitch to Schluter, in the air to center.
Repovich has been able to get the batters out for Oklahoma State by pitching up in the zone. Rich Dorman coaching that, I guess, because everything's been a flyout here for Repovich here in the inning, and you saw other pitchers for GCU attacking the top of the zone, forcing flyouts. It can get dangerous in smaller ballparks with lower fences if a batter gets a hold of a baseball, but it's been working here at Brazel.
We're going to look like a little chat with the batter due up here, Garrett Binge. Like Holiday down there having a word with him.
Yeah, a little offensive timeout here for Holiday for Oklahoma State. And those.
What do you think he's saying to him here? I mean, Binge is 1 for 2. There's nobody on. He might have seen a few things in the way that Repovich is attacking these hitters, like you mentioned, kind of up in the zone, giving Binge a little bit of advice here as a lefty strides to the plate.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs up in the zone and then breaking balls and changeups down in the zone to keep the eye level adjustment changing constantly. There's a fastball of the knees, but it's inside, and that's a really tough pitch to handle as a left-handed batter.
Yeah, that one you just kind of let it go by and hope to get a better pitch. They say typically in the major you get one good pitch to hit. You'll get a few more in college baseball. That one misses 1-1. But you're more than likely going to get one that you can handle. Just got to make sure you don't miss it. That first one down low and inside, definitely not one to handle. That one ripped foul. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Holiday would know a little something about coaching there and hitting. As we mentioned, in his 5th year here, he played for his dad, got to the NCAA tournament, and then took the team back last year. Low and inside. It's amazing when you talk about the 20 College World Series. This is the first one since 1999 they went to last year, but just one championship in 1959. It shows you how hard it is, how difficult it is. I mean, a great program, a top 5 program, and wins everything. It's just the one national championship.
Yeah, it's really tough. And then you see teams like Oregon State and Arizona who've won it back-to-back, and you think, wow, how do they do that? But Repovich coming inside, multiple pitches in that at-bat against Benj, and he was able to get it done there on that strikeout.
Yeah, gets him on that inside pitch. Couldn't take that one, and that is the 4th strikeout of the ball game for Repovich. So for the Cowboys, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Hey, if you're visiting campus this spring, why not stay at the GCU Hotel? Featuring comfortable rooms, a resort-style pool, and the Canyon 49 Grill. It's the perfect place to stay when coming to GCU. Rooms start at $79 a night. Book a room today at gcuhotel.com. That's gcuhotel.com. hotel.com. 1-0 Lopes as we head to the bottom of the fifth, and I am joined now by the athletic director, Mike Vaught. Mike, we didn't think we'd be playing today, but it's really a nice day out there. Got things pushed to this game on Monday, and a beautiful, beautiful day for baseball here.
Oh, it's a beautiful day and a great crowd. You know, we've had great crowds all weekend. It's been amazing. A lot of Oklahoma State people came down, and a lot of people taking in spring training, so we get some extra people like that. But, yeah, great crowd today, and we're playing well again.
Yeah, we're playing well. I feel a little bad for the Oklahoma State fans. They come down expecting, sunny weather and all this stuff, and they get kind of like, hey, we're kind of back home, but it's not as cold as when it gets rainy and dreary back in Stillwater. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Marley, had him on a little bit in the last inning as Preston Pavlica, Greg Sines, and Griffin Barnes are due up against Carson Teal, who's pitched really well. Just that one mistake to Greg Sines for the homer. But I was talking to Coach Marley. We're seeing it, we see it with the basketball squad playing Kentucky, playing Duke, playing Louisville, but really we're seeing every program doing that, especially this baseball. But you can look at any program and you see the big boys on everybody's schedule.
Absolutely. It's been great. We've scheduled a lot of championship quality programs. You look at women's basketball, played Washington here, and their guard broke her record for scoring. Now she's second in NCAA history in scoring yesterday. But yeah, we softball's off to a great start. Their only loss is to Baylor, 1-0. They're a top 25 team. We've got Arkansas on the schedule this year, Arizona on the schedule, and baseball, softball. We played them in basketball. They've been a great partner with us to participate in some great games here in the state of Arizona. But yeah, we've got some really good teams on the schedule in all of our sports this year.
That one in there for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Preston Pavlica leading off for the Lopes here in the fifth. GCU leads it 1-0. Pavlica 0 for 1, ground out to the third baseman his first time up. That was back in the second inning. That pitch ripped into right center field. Heading back and not going to be able to track it down is Littell. Off the wall. Pavlica thinking 3, but he's going to cruise into second with a double. Wow, Mike, you're good luck. Extra base hit off the wall.
Absolutely.
Well, Pavlica just crushes this. He's a big boy. Pavlica's been hitting the weight room in the offseason, and boy, that little outside just went with it and muscled it out to the wall.
Yeah, they had a great offseason, and really excited about this group. Coach Stankiewicz and all the staff. We've only have, I believe, they've 1 senior on the roster this year, and all these guys will be coming back in the future. So a lot of good things ahead for our baseball program.
Well, now we're going to get some action. Some folks heading down to the bullpen for Oklahoma State, and Sines, the guy who hit the solo shot in the third up there with a runner on second. Chance for the Lopes to tack a few on here. Had to try to come from behind and fell just short the other day. This is a little bit more maybe like the Friday game where they got out to the lead and got some nice pitching to cruise to the victory.
Yeah, Friday night game was really exciting.
Going after the first pitch, and that's what I love about Greg Sines. Very aggressive hitter. And we talked about Oklahoma State and what a great job Josh Holliday has done in 4 years bringing that program back. And you look at Coach Stankiewicz, the history of GCU, the 4A national championships, but since he's been here, won the WAC conference in his second year. Prior to that, took a team to the Division II College World Series. He's really got this program rolling.
Very well respected in the profession. He really has a quality staff, and I think he really connects with our players. He's players coach, and we're really excited about the future of the baseball program.
Little chopper Rosa has 1 play to first in time, and the runner moves up to third. So Sines does his job and moves the runner up 90 feet. So Lopes with another run just 90 feet away, looking to hit that ball to the right side. Just did enough. That hopper, no way they could go to third. So Pavlica now down at third, and that'll bring up Griffin Barnes with a runner at third base. Yeah, Coach Stankiewicz, one of those guys, especially with his involvement with USA Baseball, just very well respected throughout the country, and really helps him get in a lot of these games. When he makes a phone call, hey, can we schedule you guys?
Absolutely.
Most guys want to listen.
Yeah, recruiting's so important, as we all know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's very well respected, and really runs a good program, and the student athletes really recruit for the program, and they really connect with the prospects, and they always have good things to say about our coach, which is important. So yeah, it's a good situation.
Barnes got a base hit single back in the third. It was his first hit of the year. That one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Newslifter. Yeah, and you know, we'd had Coach Marlin, as I mentioned before, and a lot of people are familiar with the great crowds we get at those basketball games and the Havocs and everything they do. And we have quite a few Havocs out here today. But one thing I was talking to Coach Stankiewicz about, he said, man, Mike, that's great for us too. We always try to bring in our recruits at those big games.
Yeah,
They had a bunch of guys there at New Mexico State, and it pays dividends for all the programs.
Oh, yeah, our university really benefits from the atmosphere there, just recruiting students in general.
Ripped to right center field. That one should get down. It does. Pavlik scores easily. Barnes on his horse. He is going to stop at second. So a couple of doubles, and the Lopes lead it 2-0.
I may need to stay up here the rest of the game, Michael.
Yeah, you might stay up here the rest of the season, Mike. I mean, Griffin Barnes struggled a bit last year, got his first hit a couple innings ago, and just rips that one into right center field. If I tell Coach Stankiewicz that you're the reason this is happening, you know how superstitious baseball guys are.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'll be
You'll have to wear the same hat,
I'll be
the
traveling
same
with 'em,
jacket,
yeah.
the same socks. That's just how they go. And I think now Oklahoma State's stalling a bit here because I think they might have seen all they want to see of Carson and Teal. They do have some guys heating up down in the pen, but not ready to go. Doesn't look like they're ready to go yet. So now Kona Quiggle with a man on second, just one out, and already a 2-0 lead for GCU. And it's got to be great for you as the athletic director. I mean, I don't know, maybe sometimes when you see them throw these schedules on your desk, do you ever go, do you really want to do that? Do you want to play all these guys? But then you play them, and you're very competitive, and you beat them.
Yeah, we want to play quality teams and get national brand recognition for our university. That's a big part of it. But it also helps recruiting. And, you know, our goal is to get the top 25 in everything we do, and that's from fan experience to our facilities, which we have the new baseball stadium coming online this time next year. It'll be fantastic right here at the same footprint. And, yeah, it's exciting. It's interesting to see what they bring to my desk as far as schedules, and we have some great games coming up in the next 2 years.
Looks like Joe Linhard warming up down there, 6'5", 216-pound sophomore out of Wichita, Kansas, and got away from Wichita State, another great program that will be playing this year, and made his way down to Stillwater.
Yeah, Wichita State has a good tradition in baseball. There's a lot of Kansas people that actually work at GCU, so we'll be giving them a hard time that week.
So the visit to the mound is concluded, and would imagine this might be Teal's last batter with the top of the order coming up, although LaRouge the lefty, so they might wait one more batter and bring in the righty for Bull. But Coach Stankiewicz has set the lineup pretty well with lefty, righty, so you can't really play that card too much. 2-0 Lopes. Barnes at second after the RBI double. Quiggle at the plate, going to bunt. Oh, in the air. Is it going to get down? It does, in no man's land, and everybody's going to be safe. Not the way you draw it up, but sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
We'll
Runners
take
at the
it.
corners. Well, you saw that go in the air, and Griffin Barnes just put the brakes on and tried to backtrack. And once he saw that was going to fall, now you got runners at the corners, and you got LaRouge at the plate. And Kona Quiggle on base with a base hit single. Well,
Yes.
sometimes that can get in your brain a little bit too, you know, and you think, man, I should have had the out there.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what Coach Stankiewicz puts on with runners at the corners. Well, we talked to Coach Marley about the basketball season and on the brink of another 20-win season, and pretty amazing when you think about all the injuries they had early.
Yeah, it's amazing the job that staff's done, and Dan's done a fantastic job keeping them going in the right direction with, you know, basically 3 starters out for the year before the season even got going, and really battled, played some good teams like you mentioned earlier. Penn State, Arizona, beat San Diego State here, Louisville. I mean, some quality teams on the schedule, and to get to this point in the year, they've done a great job.
Need a little help down the stretch in the Western Athletic Conference, but that big win over New Mexico State kept them in it.
Yeah, it was a big win here at GC Arena, and home atmosphere is great here, as you know, and we've have some, the one in Bakersfield on the road is going to be tough.
Yeah.
That's coming up here in a couple of weeks.
That's a nice way to end the season, but you're right, that's going to be a tough one. They're a very good team, obviously, this year. LaRouge at the plate. Barnes at third, Quiggle at first. 2-0 Lopes. The one out. That one almost hit him. Just didn't. 2-0 count. And LaRouge 0 for 2. He had a ground out to second and then ground into a fielder's choice back in the third. A chance to really bust this one open for the Lopes with just one out. Good speed on the base paths. Throw over and Quiggle dives back safely. And I think you might have mentioned it, maybe Dan mentioned it, Ohio State coming in. to play some men's volleyball. So, yeah, I mean, none of these squads are shirking the top teams in the country.
And next weekend is really busy. If you need something to do, come over to campus. We've got men's volleyball, we've got men's basketball, softball tournament, beach volleyball alumni tournament, and, of course, the Hall of Fame induction in the afternoon. So it'll be a busy weekend.
The 2-0 up high. And Teal really laboring here. The count goes to 3-0, in danger of loading the bases for Austin Bull. And I've got to believe that this will be his last hitter, because the righty Bull is on deck here. 3-0 pitch. Imagine LaRouge is taking. He's not. He's hacking at it. Flies it into shallow left. McCain coming in. Shortstop Chappell going out. Makes the grab. So bit of a wasted at bat there on a 3-0 count for LaRouge. And I think he saw the pitch he wanted. Just got under that one a little bit and popped it out in shallow left field. That'll bring up Austin Bull. Bull 0 for 2. One run already across. It's a 2-0 lead, and all these runs scored on extra base hits, a solo homer, and then a couple of doubles in this inning here. And Mike, what are you hearing from other schools as we go and play these Louisvilles? And we know what Coach Patino said, but you go down and you chat with the ADs at the different institutions. A lot of folks back east might not have heard of Grand Canyon. Then they start seeing it, they start reading about it, they see the team and the way they play. And what are you hearing from those guys?
Very complimentary, always positive comments. And you know, with the teams that we have played this year, brought national recognition. We've got some national branding exposure, and that's helped, of course. That's part of the plan to help our university get nationally branded through athletics. But yeah, we have great relationship nationwide right now. We're playing a lot of schools coast to coast, and it's all a good thing for our athletic department or university.
1-0 count to Austin Bull here. And we got the track and field squad going, trying to sweep through the WAC here shortly, right?
Yeah, they're breaking records again this year. Swimming and diving, again, breaking records. I'll be traveling down to Houston with them this week for the WAC Swimming and Diving Championship. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. So it's going to be an exciting week for those guys. They've had a fantastic season.
Probably the worst part of your job, having to go to Texas for a couple days, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to get a little Tex-Mex while I'm there for sure.
Fouled back, 2 balls and 1 strike to count with 2 outs here. 1 run already across. You got runners at the corners, Barnes at third, Quiggle at first, and we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. And, yeah, it's fun for me to get to chat with some of those coaches and things. And Tom Flood and his track and field team, he's really bullish on their chances this year. And just very excited about next year for over and Quiggleback, especially for track and field, swimming and diving, because they'll be eligible and might see some individual national champions in the very short order from those two squads.
No question about it. And when you look at even last year, our softball team would have made the tournament had we been eligible. I think they ended up with a 55 RPI. And
they got Quiggle at first. Now Barnes going to get hung up to throw over. Did they get him? It hit Barnes. It goes down the line. He's going to score. Quiggle's going to come to third, and he'll hold there. Well, they picked off Quiggle. Barnes got himself in a bit of a rundown, and the throw goes off of Barnes into shallow left field. Another run comes across the plate, and Quiggle down at third base. Boy, that thing, they had a great play there. It went from great to horrible in about 10 seconds. So the error is going to be on the first baseman on the throw. Looked like he held it a bit too long, and I think Barnes was going to get in there safely even on a good throw. But good base running, good aggressive base running by the Lopes. 2-1 count to Bull. Another runner just 90 feet away. Fouls it back 2-2. So the Lopes now lead it 3-0. Well, you put more runs on the board than Coach Marley did. So you've got 2 on the board. We're crediting him with the 1, even though he was making his way up here when that happened.
I'll have to talk to Dan about that, yeah.
We're going to credit him with that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The cool thing for me, too, Mike, is it seems like all the coaches really get along and they root for each other. I mean, he's talking great things about Ann and about Andy and about, he mentioned the Ohio State games coming up.
Yeah, we're so blessed. We have such a great group of people. It's fun to go to work every day. Everybody enjoys being together. Our men's golf program's represented here today. Our student academic support groups here supporting the baseball team today. I've seen volleyball. I've seen soccer. People just show up, man. We're all in this. We have a slogan this year called All In. We're all in this together, and our student athletes have really supported that theme this year, and as well as our coaches, and it's just a fun group. I mean, we have a good time, and everybody's productive, but we're moving things in the right direction, and everybody's focused on the goal, and it's been great. We've had a great spring so far.
So Bull goes down swinging and strands a runner, but the Lopes get a couple of runs across on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 man left on base. We've completed 5. Lopes lead at 3-0. We've been chatting with the Vice President of Athletics, Mike Vaught. Mike, thanks so much for stopping by. We'll catch up with you down the road. We'll be broadcasting all these home games on GCU TV, so we'll definitely catch up with you again.
It's fantastic. A friend of mine, Benji Parr, just texted me. He's down in Georgia watching this right now.
Oh, fantastic.
GCU TV is the best, and you guys, all the students that are doing it, we thank you because we've had so many compliments. It's such good exposure for our programs and gives people across the world the opportunity to watch our games.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Mike. We'll catch up with you again.
You bet, thanks.
Lopes lead at 3-0 as we go to the 6th here on GCU TV.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
So a bit of breathing room for the Lopes. They lead at 3-0 as we go to the 6th. Ground ball up the middle. Bulls got it. Fires across. 1 pitch, 1 out. So Littell, the number 4 hole hitter, now 0 for 3 on the day with that ground out to short. That'll bring up Michael Nesslifter and Dustin Williams. So Newslifter due up next here, and he's been the one guy, got that double back in the 2nd, the one guy that's really hit the ball hard against Repovich, but Rep still working on a shutout here. First pitch in there for a strike, and so far, you know, for the first 3 or 4 innings, we thought it was probably going to be Repovich who was going to have the most trouble, but Carson Teal, I think he might be done for the day. He really struggled with those last couple of innings.
Yeah, a lot to digest in that last inning specifically. 2 runs coming across the board, couple of errors, couple of hits. Big clutch hit there from Griffin Barnes, a double deep in the hole to right center.
Hit it really well, too, and it's showing some power there, the 0-2. Up high, 1 and 2. And, you know, we talked about it. Andy Stankiewicz very clear, but I'm sure he's telling the guys that, hey, the catching job is up. You know, you got Meyer, you got Barnes, you got McDonald. One of you guys has to show me you want it. And, boy, right now, Griffin Barnes, so far offensively, he's 2 for 2, a double, a RBI, run scored, and a single. So he's showing that he might be the front runner for the gig. He's already gotten 2 starts out of the 3.
Yeah, he put that first game woes behind him where he struck out 3 times, and he's come back today with two big hits.
Well, there's action in the Oklahoma State pen. It was Joe Linhard warming up, and now that one fouled back. Lopes have some action in their bullpen as well. Gabe Benavides is warming up, the sophomore left-handed pitcher out of Wilcox, Arizona. So looks like Coach Stankiewicz is saying, hey, Rep, go out there, get me through this 6th inning, and we'll go to the bullpen.
Yeah, both starters in the series have made it 6 full innings. And if Repovich can do that, it'll be another quality start here for GCU starting pitchers.
That is the other thing we talked about for Lopes. It's very early, obviously, but second base probably up for grabs. Signs showing offensively that he's might have the upper hand on Tyler Wyatt, but Wyatt, you know, hit very well, played very well for the Lopes last year. Strike 3 on the inside corner. 5th strikeout of the ball game for Repovich, and he's got a couple of them looking and really moving the ball around, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Dustin Williams. Williams, the senior first baseman.
Yeah, just gets that breaking ball, get down at the knees, backdoor breaking ball there that Newstifter really didn't have a play on there.
Well, it looked like he was a bit fooled on that. Like he was thinking that ball was going to stay outside. He didn't really, kind of gave up on it early. First pitch to Williams in there for a strike. Well, I don't know. Maybe Coach Stankiewicz changes his mind if Jake get the clean 1, 2, 3 inning here because he's looking about as sharp as he did back in that 1st inning.
Yeah, but Jake Wong was dealing through 6 as well, and we expected him to come out for the 7th, but he never did. So maybe Stankiewicz and Rich Dorman are thinking, hey, let's save arms. It's sort of the first series of the season. Let's get some guys some pitching time out on the mound here in the first series of the season.
The 0-2. Ripped down the first base line, but foul. 3-0 Lopes. They have the lead here. We are in the sixth. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 6 left on for Oklahoma State. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on for GCU. We talked about second base. We talked about the catcher kind of up there. Also looking for somebody in that kind of middle relief to step in. Somebody to bridge that gap as that one's fouled back between the starters and either Mick Vorhoff or A.J. Frank. So that was a bit of a struggle in the game yesterday. And I talked to Coach Stankiewicz before the game, and he said, yeah, we just need to find 1 or 2 guys that can be our 7th inning guy because they can kind of interchange Mick and AJ. And AJ showed he can go 3 innings if he has to.
Yeah, Mick is definitely the closer out of the pen for the Lopes. Cemented that role as a freshman. Hasn't pitched yet.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. We will finish that thought when we get back here. But a couple of strikeouts for Repovich. Let's take a look and see if they're all shaking his hand. Just shaking his hand like normal. Let's see if everybody's coming down to greet him. I think he might be done. But 6 strong innings for Jake Repovich with 6 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 GCU.
If you enjoyed TED Talks, then you'll love TEDx Grand Canyon University. This is a TED event completely organized by students to bring GCU and the community together in the spirit of TED's mission, ideas worth spreading. Enjoy a day of diverse thought through speakers and community on March 2nd. For more information, visit gcuarena.com. Variety of speakers, and even some GCU staff will be speaking at the GCU TED Talk. You won't want to miss it. You can go for more information to gcuarena.com.
As we go to the bottom of the 6th, Carson Teal still out there. I had thought they might go and make a pitching change, but able to get out of the inning with a strikeout of Bull in the 5th after letting a couple of extra base hits and a couple of runs come across. But he'll face Schwartz, Evans, and Malice. And as we mentioned, I was talking to Mike Vaught, VP of Athletics, about it. Coach Stankiewicz has really stacked his lineup, righty-lefty. So it's very difficult to kind of play that in against Coach Stankiewicz because he has such good hitters from both sides and he stacks them nicely.
Yeah, and it's tough to go left to right in a batting lineup when there's so many guys in the pen that you can just throw a guy in the pen for one batter just to situational pitch. But it's kind of gone away from that in the culture of baseball when they set lineup. Coaches set lineups, but I would assume Carson Teal has a short leash here.
Yeah, he might be just pitching to the lefty here. Schwartz, first pitch, fouled back by Gary. Schwartz, a couple of groundouts to second, so Teal's had a nice game against Schwartz. He's actually done really well against the heart of the order, 3, 4, and 5. So, they might want to try to get him one more inning through here because the heart of the order is 0 for 6 against Teal. That one popped up left side. I think that's going to get out of play. And it does.
Yeah, Teal's been very successful against the middle part of the lineup, so maybe Holiday's thinking, hey, he's been successful against him. Let's keep him out there, not try to change anything. This guy's been quality against Schwartz, Malice, and Evans, so maybe he's out there just to get through this heart of the order here for GCU.
Yeah, Josh Holiday used 5 pitchers in game 1. He used 6 pitchers in 6 or 7. He used 7 pitchers in game 2. He's got a game tomorrow against Arizona State, the 0-2. Now, I guess you could say fortunate or unfortunate. Not those guys didn't throw a ton of pitches because he was bringing them in and out pretty quickly. They weren't as effective as maybe he'd wanted, but he's got a couple guys out there still warming in the pen. The 1-2 to Garrison Schwartz. Swing and miss, struck him out. Probably a bit high and out of the zone, but Garrison chases, so back-to-back strikeouts. Bull in the 5th, and here Schwartz in the 6th. It'll bring up Ian Evans. Evans 0 for 2, just like that whole heart of the order is 0 for 2. A fly out to right and a fly out to center. And typically, if you tell a pitcher, hey, you're going to go, 6, 7 innings, and the heart of the order is going to go 0 for against you, you probably think you're in pretty good shape at that stage.
Yeah, and if you're Oklahoma State, you're thinking, hey, 3 runs isn't the end of the world, especially with how potent Oklahoma State's offense can be. But Repovich has been able to sit him down pretty easily, except for those couple innings where he's gotten into trouble, but he's been able to get out of those jams.
That one misses 2-0, and yeah, it looks like Benavides is still out there throwing. So I think Rep is done, and Gabe's going to come in to pitch the 7th. Haven't seen Vorhoff yet in this series, so we'll probably see Mick at some point. That one in there for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Gabe over in Gresham, Oregon for the Grey Wolves during summer ball. Pitched a bunch of innings as a starter. Hadn't started in his collegiate career.
Right side, deep, going back, up, and over the wall for a home run. Ian Evans, second home run of the ball game for GCU, and that one, just like the one that Signs hit, just kept going and going. Wow, Evans showing some legit power opposite field.
Yeah, that ball stayed up in the air for a long time, and it looks like it was going to fall down on the warning track, but just had enough to get it out of the ballpark and just lifts this one in the opposite direction, flicks it out there.
Boy, just took it on the outside corner and just, as you said, just flicked it out there, and the thing just kept going and going. 4-0 GCU, and that ball gets past the catcher, Nuslifter, and catches the home plate umpire, but it's ball one. Well, Lopes have used extra base hits, a solo homer in the third, a solo homer in the sixth, and then a couple of doubles in the fifth. That one misses up high, 2-0. So the heart of the order struggling with Teal no more. Evans having a series here in his GCU debut. That one ripped by Malice. Zach's got his first base hit of the day. Lopes looking to tack on more, as you mentioned, Fletcher. Oklahoma State can score runs in bunches, so Lopes want to try to tack on a few more here, and I think that is probably going to be it here as they make the long, slow walk to the mound to talk to Carson Teal, the sophomore lefty in his first start of his career.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Zach Malice to get that ball in the air over the top of the second baseman's head into center field. And Teal got through the heart of the order for the Lopes, but not before he got a couple hits recorded up on the scoreboard against him. A single there by Malice and that opposite field home run there by Ian Evans did him in here in the sixth.
And we are going to have a pitching change. And, you know, for Oklahoma State, you watch that and you think, wow, why didn't they maybe pull him earlier? But, you know, early in the season, Josh Holliday probably wants to see what this sophomore is going to do for him, how he pitches out of jams. You're not as concerned about going down 3-4, 5-0 against, you know, your third game of the year. Might want to give him a long leash and just kind of see how he does and put that in the back of your mind for later in the year. But they are going to pull him here as Teal's going to get lifted down 4-0 with one out here in the sixth. And Preston Pavlica due up. They're going to go to number 46, Joe Linhard. Linhard, the 6'5", 216-pound sophomore out of Wichita, Kansas. And I was talking to Mike Vaught about that. He got away from Wichita State and came down to Stillwater, Oklahoma, and he comes in here now with the Lopes up 4-0 in the sixth.
Yeah, had a 3.38 ERA last year for Oklahoma State, 15 appearances, just 2 starts. This is his third start of his career for Oklahoma State, 18.2 thirds innings pitched with 7 total earned runs. Primarily a relief guy coming out of the pen here for Oklahoma State here in a sunny Monday afternoon here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, and if you go back to the beginning of this ball game, we came on the air at about 1 o'clock, and it really looked like early it was going to be a reversal of fortune here. It looked like it was going to be the Lopes down 4-0 because Jake Repovich pitched himself out of jams in the second, third, and fourth innings, had runners on third with 1 out. Every one of those innings had the bases loaded in the second, runners at the corners in the third, and was able to get out of it unscathed. And he finds himself now probably done for the day after going 6, up 4-0.
Yeah, Repovich tossed very well, got us some pressure situations, and it's a long season, and it's a strong WAC conference as well, and I would be very naive to say Repovich is not going to be pitching in pressure situations the rest of the season, so good to see him get out of a couple of them here early in the game against Oklahoma State in Game 3 of the series.
That'll bring up Preston Pavlica. You know, we'll talk to Coach Stankiewicz after this ball game on the post-game show. Pavlica doubled and scored in the fifth, just ripped the ball out to right center field. A ground out to third in the second. Malice takes his lead over at first. Now Linhard steps off. A righty-righty matchup here. Linhard from the stretch. in there for a strike. Might have taken a bit off of that one. 0-1 the count to Pavlica.
A big sweeping pitch there that started way inside that ended all the way on the outer part of the plate. A big frame out there on the mound for Linhard.
Taking his time with the signs here. The 0-1. There goes the runner. Throw, down. They get him, tagged him on the helmet, and they're going to call him out. And now it looked like Malice might have run into Rosa, and Rosa down on a knee. Now he's up and ready to go. Malice, sportsmanship, taps him on the back there. Boy, you rarely see that called an out. The tag might have been there, not sure, but typically when the entire body is past the defender, they don't bail you out with that one, but they get the call. So Malice retired on the stolen base attempt. 0-2 count now to Pavlica with 2 outs and nobody on. Just missed the outside corner.
Yeah, there's no complaints from Andy Stankiewicz from the third base coaching box, but it might have looked like Zach Malice had his feet up in the air when he was sliding in there off the bag. He was past the ball, but his feet still have to be on the bag if he's going to be safe.
The 1-2 in the dirt. Well, I tell you what, I really, really like this second baseman they got for Oklahoma State, Andrew Rosa, the junior. I mean, he's made some great defensive plays. He's a very good hitter. This guy's a guy to watch as a junior here for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he had one mistake last night on a ground ball deep in the hole of the right side.
Ripped it short. Ooh, tough hop for Chappell. Stayed with it. Fires it across. Wow, some slick defense there by the middle infield to bail out the reliever, Joe Linhard, who came in on replace of Carson Teal. But the Lopes get another run on the solo shot from Ian Evans, and we go to the 7th. 4-0 GCU with the lead.
There's a surge of excitement at GCU as the Lopes gear up for greatness. We do not accept defeat. We will not disappoint. We will not quit. We are the intensity brewing in the heart of Phoenix. We are the Lopes rising. Come watch us defend our house against Louisville, San Diego State, and rival New Mexico State. Catch all the family-friendly entertainment. Games will sell out. Get your basketball season tickets today at lopestickets.com.
As we mentioned, we thought the day was done for Jake Repovich. It is. Repovich, a third starter in a row for GCU to go 6 strong innings. 6 innings pitched, gives up 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 1 wild pitch, faced 24 batters, and he was pitching out of trouble the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning. But he leaves with a 4-0 lead in line for a victory here and gives way to number 14, Gabe Benavides, the 6'2" sophomore lefty out of Wilcox, Arizona.
Yeah, Benavides, a big lefty, done his secondary and third pitch this summer in summer ball up in Oregon, and threw 17 innings last year for a 3.18 ERA. He's got a good fastball that touches in the high 80s, low 90s, and a big left arm, big frame out there on the mound for the GCU, hoping to keep this shutout intact here for GCU against Oklahoma State and take the series against a ranked opponent here in opening weekend.
So Benavides in the 7th here will face the bottom third, Rosa Boone and Chappell, unless we get a change. But this has got to be great for Coach Stankiewicz. I asked him prior to the game, I said, hey, you happy with the pitching? He said, yeah, just the middle relief we got to kind of figure out. But this is the 3rd start in a row that's giving you a very good quality start here.
Yeah, 3 quality starts against a ranked opponent. You can't complain at all. A couple of runs against the starter last night, Deegan Hart, a transfer from Yavapai Community College. But we'll see how Gabe Benavides pitches here in relief for Jake Repovich. AJ Franks pitched well. And the returners out of the pen for GCU have pitched well so far against Oklahoma State.
Rosa at the plate. Rosa 1 for 2, has been on base a couple times, reached on an error in the 1st, got a base hit single in the 4th. He's made some very nice plays out at second base for this Oklahoma State Cowboys squad. He will lead things off here in the 7th. Fastball inside corner, strike 1. So Gabe just painting that inside part of the plate ahead in the count. That one ripped into left field. Quiggle coming over and to try to hold him to a single, and he does. Nicely played out there. in left field by Quiggle, but a leadoff single for Rosa here in the 7th. He came in a little bit too often there. Looked like almost the exact same pitch as the first and ripped into left. That'll bring up Trevor Boone.
Yeah, Rosa's reached base every single at bat he's had, reaching on an error in the 2nd, and 2 straight singles here for Rosa, and he's been the best bat for Oklahoma State in their lineup all weekend long.
So Boone 0 for 2. He struck out in the 2nd and reached on a fielder's choice his last at bat. Benavides, the lefty, inside, 2-0. Well, in this, like we talked about, this is the part of the rotation and the staff that the Lopes have the most questions about. This first guy out of the pen, unless you can have your closer, whether it be Franks or Vorhoff, go 3 full innings. And Franks has shown he can do it, and he's out there, I believe, warming up right now. But Vorhoff, probably more of a 1 to 2 inning guy at the most. I went in there for a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, maybe 5 outs at most for Mick Vorhoff out of the pen. Gabe Benavides pitched a lot of innings in the summer, so he could be that long relief guy if you need him to, along with A.J. Franks. We'll see if he can get out of this inning with a leadoff runner on base.
That one ripped down the left field line. That's going to be in the corner, could be trouble. Rosa on his horse who goes to the wall. Quiggle is going to bring it back in, and they're not going to take any chances holding up the runners, and so you got back-to-back base hits to greet Gabe Benavides, and that double puts runners in scoring position with nobody out. Here come the Cowboys. Well, you said it, that this Cowboy squad isn't going to be really that concerned about being down 3 or 4 runs. I mean, you'd rather not be, but boy, just ripped that one into left.
Yeah, it was a good hit right there. Got all of that baseball. Good thing it was inside. Wasn't able to put that in the gaps to increase the amount of bags that you could take there and maybe put up a run on the board. A ball in the right center gap probably would have scored Rosa from first. So ball down the line there. Shorter throw for Quiggle, but a great piece of hitting there by Trevor Boone. His first single, his first at bat, or first hit of his Oklahoma State career.
And it's a double down the line, and that's going to bring a visit to the mound with Chappell at the plate. That's going to be the pitching coach, Rich Dorman, in his first year taking over. And he's going to come out to the mound to try to settle down Benavides and maybe chat a little bit about what he's seen out there. It'll be very interesting to see how long of a leash Coach Stankiewicz has with these middle relief guys, because Franks is out there in the pen. And, you know, Franks threw 3 innings in 40 pitches, but he's got kind of that submarine sidearm delivery, so a bit of a rubber arm. And we saw him last year pitch multiple games back to back to back. And, you know, Vorhoff was the closer, and then with all the injuries they had, Vorhoff actually got a couple of starts. So Franks was the closer, and then you kind of ended the season with a couple of guys who either one of them could close. You felt comfortable with either one of them. But this middle relief area, it'll be interesting to see how long he stays with them before going right to Franks, because you could always have Vorhoff coming in the 8th or the 9th.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something you want to shore up sooner rather than later.
Right.
But if that's the only concern you have is finishing your middle innings guys, then there's not a lot to shore up as a full roster and depth chart.
Chappell's going to bunt, and bunts it foul behind home plate.
Little safety squeeze here
from
the number 9 batter. Very gutsy down 4-0, but anything to get a run on the board and get a rally going here for Oklahoma State in the 7th.
Yeah, it's an interesting call because they've been hitting Benavides. I mean, both hits have been smoked, you know, and so he's obviously struggling a bit to give an out away, but trade it for a run, make it a 4-1 ball game. Interesting call. Let's see if they do it again. The 0-1. Benavides comes to the plate, not bunting, and that pitch low and inside. 1-1 the count to Chappell. Chappell reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd and lined out to the right fielder Schwartz in the 4th.
Yeah, 1 hit for the season. He scored a run and has gotten walked twice over the course of the series. And he's got 2 runners in scoring position here.
The 1-1 in the air, shallow. Signs going out. Signs is going to can't make the grab. Not deep enough for anyone to advance. Big out for Benavides there as they flip the lineup, and that'll bring up Garrett McCain, the leadoff man.
Yeah, that was the best possible situation on a ball in the air for GCU there. Pop up just outside of the infield. If Garrison Schwartz could have taken that, he probably could have taken it as well. And there's no way that Andrew Rose is scoring from third base.
So Chappell 0 for 3 on the day, and now it's Garrett McCain. McCain 1 for 3. Got all the way to third base after a single in the third, but couldn't score. One out, Lopes up 4-0. That one ripped right at Malice, who gloves it. Oh, my.
That was another best-case scenario right there.
Man.
Line drive right at the third baseman.
And Malice had to be ready for that one. That was smoked. That was probably the hardest hit ball, and the first two were pretty hard hit. That one was smoked, and Malice basically in his crouch just moves the glove over and it makes the grab. I mean, it's almost too fast to even get a picture of. He smoked that ball so hard, and Malice makes the catch.
They don't call it the hot corner for nothing.
Ooh.
Moving over from first to third. Have to have your head on a swivel there, and he grabs that one for second out of the inning.
Sluter at the plate. First pitch misses outside. Ball one. Sluter 0 for 2. Had a strikeout in the first, a sac bunt in the third, and flew out to center in the fifth. So once again, a different lefty on the hill, but trying to pitch out of a jam with a runner on third base. This time a runner on second and third. Ground ball to short. This might do it. Bull has it, has to hustle, makes the strong throw, and that is the inning. So once again, GCU pitchers pitch out of a jam. No runs on a couple of base hits. There were no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and it's still a 4-0 GCU lead. Well, folks, men's basketball is coming to an end. There's just a few games left. We talked to Coach Marley a little bit earlier. He's excited about it because he's going for his 20th win of the season. Tune in February 23rd to see the Lopes take on Chicago State Cougars. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. with coverage starting at 6:30 right here on GCU TV. I'll be on the radio on 12:30 a.m. If you can't get to your TV monitor, if you're driving and don't want to pull it up on your iPad, which we strongly advise against if you're driving.
No
but if you're
distractions.
somewhere stable, check it out on GCU TV. Tips at 7. Coverage starts at 6:30. And Lopes 19-9, trying for that 20th win, and a remarkable season for them with all the injuries they had early.
Yeah, a bunch of injuries to the lineup from the very beginning of the season, and Dan always had to find the answers. He's been able to find the answers for them all season long, and going for win number 20, the second 20-win season in a row for Dan Marley, if he could do so.
Yeah, and the Lopes unable to play in the postseason tournament in the WAC, and they're not going to be able to go to the NCAA NIT, but more than likely going to play in the CIT again this year. So probably get at least one more game at GCU Arena. So that in the postseason. We know for sure we got 2 more with Chicago State, and then Saturday's UMKC, and that's going to be senior night. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Signs plunked in his first pitch. So Signs goes down to first. Boy, that was an interesting pitch because Signs had a homer a couple of innings ago, and that caught him flush in the back. Wasn't even close to the plate. Linhard puts on Greg Signs. Linhard came on in relief back in the 6th, and Lopes lead at 4-0 here in the 7th.
Yeah, you don't like to see pitchers come right at a guy after hitting a home run. See it a little bit more in the pros quietly, not as much in college, so that might have been just a mistake out of the hand.
I think
by
it just
Linhart.
got away from him. Throw over, and Signs scampers back. This is a guy in the box now, although Signs had that solo homer. This is a guy who's really hit the ball well against Carson Teal. Had the base hit single in the 3rd and had that double back in the 5th. Drove in a run.
Put those 3 strikeouts in game 1 behind him. Short memory for Griffin Barnes. He's got a couple of hits here today and scored a run with an RBI.
Yeah, and Griffin, they're going to have him bunt here. Pulls the bat back. Andy Stankiewicz going through the signs down there. Griffin keeping an eye on him, making sure he knows what the play is with Signs down at first. Good lead for Greg at first. 1-0 from Linhard. Going to throw over instead. Yeah, Barnes, base hit single in the 3rd. It was his first hit of the year, and he had the double into a right center field and came around. That drove in Pavlica. Then he came around to score on the single by Quiggle. Pulled the bat back, but that was over the plate. 1-1 count to Griffin Barnes. Well, Barnes got the start in game 1 on Friday. Went 0 for 3 in that one. Josh Meyer got the start in the game on Sunday. Perfect bunt by Barnes. The sacrifice is complete. Lopes trying to tack on a run. They've got signs now down at second.
Yeah, Griffin gets it down, does his job, moves his guy over, so no complaints from the coaching staff on that at bat. Yeah, Signs moved us into the scoring position.
Yeah, boy, stayed with it. Pitch was low, but just bent the knees, got down, and just popped it right down there on the grass. And so now Kona Quiggle at the plate. The switch hitter is going to move around and hit from the left side. Quiggle got the base hit and the RBI back in the 5th.
And Quiggle had a great career over at Greenway High School, hitting .370 for a career, over 400 his senior season. So big numbers for the left fielder here for GCU at high school.
In there for strike 1.
Yeah, he's 4 for 10 and 400 here so far against Oklahoma State, with an RBI, 2 runs scored. So
fouled back.
Good numbers for the freshman in the opening series of the season.
Yeah, and I misspoke. He didn't get credited with the RBI when Barnes scored, but he was the guy at first that got picked off, and then when they tried to throw back to get Barnes, it got away, and Griffin was able to score. So no RBI, didn't score on the base hit single by Quiggle, but Kona was huge in that play.
Yeah, RBI back in the 6th inning in the opener, scoring Preston Pavlica on a single in the 6th inning back on Friday night. So that RBI coming back then. But good numbers as a whole for the freshman.
Outside, 1-2. No runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 8 left on for Oklahoma State. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on for GCU. The 1-2, who waited on it and just fouled it back. Count stays a 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, you got some youth out there. You got the junior in right field with Garrison Schwartz. You got the sophomore in center and the freshman in left. And that seems to be a pretty stable outfield lineup for GCU this year. The 1-2. Up high, laid off of it. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count.
Yeah, if there's going to be any changes to that outfield, it's going to be Thomas LaRouge or Quinn Cotton getting in there. And then that designated hitter spot's going to be open for grabs to see who can get a platoon spot in that DH, produce some numbers offensively. May not necessarily get some defensive time, but if you can produce at the plate, you might get that designated hitter role here for GCU with the quality 5 outfielders here for GCU.
The 2-2 got under and lifted it to the right side. Williams calls everybody off, waits for it to come down. Could have made a sandwich there, makes the grab. Second out of the inning. Top of the order, guy you were just talking about, Tom LaRouge, who no stranger to playing in the outfield, had that surgery on the arm, shoulder over the offseason, so they're just hitting him here, but more than likely we'll see some time. Vorhoff starting to warm out in the pen. We saw Franks throwing, and he might be ready to come in the 8th, and Mick in the 9th, or maybe they just Lopes just stick with him, but we're going to get a pitching change on the Oklahoma State side. New pitcher for the Cowboys is going to be number 27.
Brady Basso.
So Basso going to come in. A lefty, 6'2", 205 freshman out of Pearland, Texas, and Pearland High. Third pitcher of the day for the Cowboys is Linhart heads to the bench, and they're going to bring in the lefty to face LaRouge, the lefty, with a couple outs here, and the runner at second is Signs. He reached on the hit by pitch, went to second on the sacrifice bunt by Barnes. So not afraid to use a number of pitchers in this series. Basso, pitcher number 3. Basso, real quick look here. First time he's been in this series. So we'll face LaRouge, and if Tommy could extend it, Bull will come up to the plate. 4-0 lead for GCU. Beautiful day here. This is what we expected, or we're kind of hoping for all weekend long, but we had the rain out, got pushed back a day, and just gorgeous weather. That's what these Oklahoma State fans were probably looking forward to when they booked their trip to come out for 5 or 6 days and watch their team play GCU and ASU.
Yeah, talking to the Oklahoma State radio staff and sports information director, better weather in Oklahoma and Stillwater the first day, Friday and Saturday, than here in Phoenix. So this is typical or Arizona springtime weather, baseball weather here in February. Beautiful sunny day with sprinkle of clouds, but those palm trees are popping out in outfield right now. So great, beautiful Monday on President's Day here in Arizona.
Well, we mentioned that next game up for Oklahoma State, they just head over to Tempe, and they'll face Arizona State tomorrow, and then it's Texas State and St. Louis, and then they'll go to the Frisco College Baseball Classic for the Lopes. The next one coming up is Wednesday when they face the Arizona Diamondbacks in an exhibition ball game, and then they head to another perennial powerhouse, Wichita State, on the road.
Yeah, then they got St. Mary's on the road as well, and that's not an easy test either. St. Mary's always doing good things out of the West Coast Conference.
First pitch from Basso. Outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count now. Tom LaRouge at the plate. Had a tough time so far today. Fouls that one into the mix. Strike 1, 1-1. LaRouge grounded out to second, reached on a fielder's choice, and a little pop out to short. Shot into left field. Signs, they're going to hold him. Stankiewicz down the line is going to make the call to hold Greg Signs at third. You got runners at the corners, a 2-out base knock, first hit of the day for Tom LaRouge.
Yeah, Tom needed that. Hadn't gotten a base hit all day, but he was 2 for 8 in the series. Just takes that pitch that was coming from inside to outside and sends it down the hole between the shortstop on the second base side and the third baseman. Moves the runners over, and now you got a speedy guy over at first who can get into scoring position without the ball being put in play.
Yeah, that's the old dreaded 5.5 hole as Tony Gwynn made his way to the Hall of Fame with base hits to the 5.5 hole. That the lefty just pokes it right in between the shortstop and the third baseman. Bull with a chance now to extend the lead. He's 0 for 3. Chopper to short. Chappell's going to have to hustle. Gloves it on the run. Fires on the run. Nicely done by the shortstop for Oklahoma State to give Bull an 0 for 4 day and get the third out of the inning. Well, the leadoff man Signs gets hit, gets all the way down to third after a base hit by LaRouge, but cannot come in. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and 2 men left on base. We've completed 7. Lopes lead at 4-0. I think it's got to be Repovich, right? Player of the game?
The Grand Canyon University Film Festival is a 3-night celebration of our school's talented filmmakers. It's held in Ethington Theater on March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and it features some of our best shorts of the year. Come join us to be a part of Arizona's emerging film community. Whether it's for one night or all 3, we appreciate your support.
Welcome back to Brazos Stadium. Michael Potter and Fletcher Like here with you. And Fletcher, 4-0 GCU with the lead as we go to the 8th. And first time we'll get to see Mick Vorhoff this season.
Yeah, he's phenomenal out of the pen the last 2 years he's been with GCU. He's been that solidified closer position, maybe a late inning 8th guy. But Jake Repovich set him up for a quality end of the game here as GCU's up 4-0 on a quality Oklahoma State team. And they've been able to jump out to a lead, and hopefully they can sustain it with their closer out on the mound.
Yeah, and Repovich pitched a nice ball game here, pitched himself out of jams, and then Gabe Benavides had to do the exact same thing in the last inning, pitching out of a jam with guys in scoring position. Vorhoff, a 4.15 ERA, a record of 5-1. Got a couple starts last year, but had 19 appearances, and in 39 innings gave up 40 hits, 23 runs, 18 earned. He walked 17 and struck out 23. And so as we go to the 8th with a 4-0 lead, he'll face 3, 4, and 5 in the order for Oklahoma State. First pitch in there for strike one to Garrett Bench.
Yeah, that's what happens when your rotation gets dinged up and you have some guys that aren't producing. You have to go to your closer and say, hey, we need to make a couple starts here. And that's what Mick Vorhoff did, but he's versatile. He's able to do good things out on the mound, even though his ERA doesn't show it.
Now one tap foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, a good quality start with 6 strikeouts for Jake Repovich. It was not easy for Gabe Benavides in the last inning. The first 2 guys greeted him with hot shots into left, and then probably the hardest hit ball was a line drive that Zach Malice caught around the ankles that saved a run, but he was able to get out of it, just like his predecessor, Jake Repovich. The 0-2 way high.
Yeah, it could easily be a 4-2 baseball game had Zach Malice not had the ability to stab that one out of the air on that line drive. Definitely would have scored the runner from third. The runner from second would have been on his horse trying to get around third base. It would have definitely gotten into the corner, so definitely could be a different scoreline out on the scoreboard right now.
Garrett Bench 1 for 3. Had a base hit back in the 3rd. Staying alive. 1-2. Well, for the Lopes, we talked about it briefly, but after the Diamondbacks game on Wednesday, Wichita State, and they're 3-0 this season. St. Mary's hasn't lost this season 2-0. San Francisco's 3-0. So very good competitive schedule that Coach Stankiewicz has put together for this Antelope squad.
Yeah, a couple of those teams might have even snuck up into the new Division I and USA coaches polls here.
Yeah, it just came out today,
came out this morning, yeah. So it could be another round of ranked opponents here on the slate for GCU.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Bench. 4-0 Lopes lead here in the 8th. Vorhoff on. Breaking pitch got him to chase it in the dirt. Barnes is going to have to fire it down to first. He makes some space and throws down to Evans for the out. 7th strikeout of the ballgame for Antelope pitchers. First for Vorhoff. That'll bring up John Littell. Littell. A little pop out to the pitcher in the 2nd, a strikeout looking in the 3rd, and a ground out to short in the 6th. Big cut on that one. Comes up empty. 0-1. TCU remains number 1. I think they're coming in. Are they coming in, or is ASU going there to play? Those guys got a couple of games coming up, but TCU remains number 1 in the new rankings. Has not tasted defeat yet. Fouled straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. U of A on the schedule later on. They're ranked 15th in here. That's in D1 baseball. Ranking's a bit different from site to site. 1-2 pitch from Vorhoff. Up high. 2-2.
Yeah, USA Today coaches poll coming out. Cal State Fullerton jumping up from 21st to 11th here today, and Oklahoma State moving down from 18 to 22nd. So Oklahoma State still in the rankings after a loss and squeaking out a win last night, 6-5 over GCU. GCU trying to come back, but just wasn't able to get it done late in the game.
So Mick Vorhoff getting a chance. Probably ready to go, man. Those first 2 games, you don't get a chance to come in there. Probably itching, wanting to get into the ball game. Now he's got a chance to finish this one off. The 2-2. Checked the swing, wouldn't chase it. It's a good eye for Littell. 3 ball, 2 strike the count. for 3-2. Fouls it off. Stays alive. So Vorhoff goes full here with 1 out and a 4-0 lead into right field. That one's going to get down in front of Schwartz. Took a weird hop on him, but he's able to corral it and fire it back into the infield. We mentioned Vorhoff to change. Forgot to mention to you that on at second base, Tyler Wyatt takes the place of Greg Sines. Sines might get another at bat if they get a few guys on in that 8th inning, but they put in Ty Wyatt, a little bit better defensively for GCU out there at second base.
Yeah, Sines with that solo shot in the 3rd to open up the scoring, and it could be the difference maker so far if Vorhoff can get out of this inning here without a run crossing.
Side. Yeah, it's going to get fouled. Yep. Littell with his first base hit of the day on there at first, and
Game started off.
Sorry, go ahead.
Game started off as all Carson Teal until Greg Sines was able to pop that one out of here to lead things off in the 3rd. And then it's been all GCU since then, and it's been a very exciting game here as a GCU fan here in Game 3 of the series.
Pitch in there for a strike to Nestifter. The count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. So Newstifter doubled and then got on a fielder's choice back in the 3rd, was caught looking in the 6th. He ripped the double, the first base hit off of Repovich. Jake had retired 4 in a row. Fouls out and off. Newstifter, the freshman catcher for the Cowboys. Done pretty well behind the plate today. Now Barnes going to have a word. Might have got crossed up on that one. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, man on first. That's Littell. Lopes lead it 4-0 here in the 8th. Fouled back.
Still 0-2, and Newstifter's still going to have to battle back against Mick Vorhoff, who's been able to throw a bunch of strikes here that Newstifter's just had to foul off to stay alive.
Well, this is the final season for Brazel Stadium as we know it. A significant facelift here. Foul that one back. Gonna take it from about 1,500 capacity, even though we've been putting 2,100 in here at times.
Yeah, there was 30 room only on Friday.
That's right.
There were people standing in every single bay of the parking garage, out on top of the fire trucks, out in right field. People in movable and mobile stands down the first baseline. There was not a seat or any yellow bleacher seats to be found here on Friday night. A packed house to open the season.
Yeah, they had it at 23:57, which broke the record set last year against Tennessee with 1987. Huge crowds out for the opener on Friday.
GCU fans always come out in droves for big games, coming out for droves against Oklahoma State. Here,
hit it to left, but I think he got under it too much. Quiggle coming over, has got some room. Makes the grab for a loud out, and that'll put Littell scampering back to first, 2 down.
Coming in droves for New Mexico State, coming in droves for that opener for GCU soccer in the GCU Soccer Stadium.
Yeah.
And then come out in droves and watch the men's volleyball game against the #1 team in the country, Ohio State, who hasn't lost in over a year, 40-game win streak.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They have the AVCA Player of the Year in the country, and a French kid named Nicholas Scherzen, so they're very good, but that streak might be broken in GCU Arena if fans can come out and bring that GCU havoc that GCU fans always bring.
Williams at the plate. Williams 0 for 2. Had a walk and got as far as second in the second inning. Flew out to left and struck out swinging in the 6th. Fouled off left side. Malice giving chase, but it's going to run out of room. That one well out of play. For the Lopes, it'll be the heart of the order. Schwartz, Evans, and Malistu up in the 8th. Still with a 4-0 lead. Beautiful day for the crowd to come out here. Coach Marley wanted to play too. He was excited, man.
I want to play out there too. It's beautiful out
0-1.
there.
Jammed him a bit, fouled it off. Boy, Williams tried to get the barrel out in front of that one.
Yeah, Williams was swinging for the fences. He wanted to get his first home run of the season here after hitting 14 last year. So, and if you're going to do it as a left-handed batter, you have the best opportunity with a shorter fence and only 330 to the corner. So, Dustin Williams could get a hold of one here, but Mick Vorhof's going to pitch around him.
Strike 3 called, froze him. Just looked like a rope on the inside corner. So Vorhof comes in, faces 4, gives up a single, but strikes out 2. It is his second strike out of the ball game coming on a relief. Is the 8th strike out of the ball game for Antelope pitchers. We have completed 7 and a half here for GCU, or excuse me, Oklahoma State in that inning. No runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and a man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the Lopes leading it 4-0.
Check out the latest from the College of Theology's blog, Living Faith. This Christian blog covers biblical, theological, and practical topics, all written by GCU faculty and special guests. Go to blogs.gcu.edu/COT. That's blogs.gcu.edu/COT.
Well, you got the 7th inning stretch taking out the ball game, and then you got here, Sweet Caroline. Fans enjoying that one.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I get up for it.
You like that better than the 7th inning stretch?
Oh, I like both of them.
Okay. You got a little tradition still in you.
Oh, yeah. Now we just got to get an organist this next GCU
Now, see,
stadium.
now you're
That would be
talking
fun.
old school right there. I like that. 4-0 Lopes lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. GCU got a solo shot off the bat of Greg Sines in the 3rd. A couple of doubles and a base hit single, scored 2 in the 5th. And then a solo homer from Ian Evans in the 6th, and that's a difference. Schwartz to lead things off here in the 8th, looking for his first base hit of the day. Basso's first pitch outside, ball 1. That one fouled off left side. Out of play, 1-1 the count to Garrison Schwartz. Schwartz, the preseason WAC Player of the Year. He was the WAC Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. A kid really who came in and a lot of folks didn't really know what to expect. And then fall ball his freshman year, he just really impressed the coaches. So that one catches the corner. 1-2, and they just really couldn't get him out of the lineup. I mean, in fall ball, they were thinking, oh, he might be a guy who plays a little bit. You see Coach Stankiewicz there, and now there's Gary. And, you know, Coach Stankiewicz said, gosh, the guy just played so well, we couldn't take him out. Ooh, over the head, almost hit him on the helmet. And that's what Schwartz has been doing, putting up numbers since he showed up.
Yeah, Stankiewicz would have lost his job if he had taken Garrison Schwartz out of the lineup his freshman or sophomore year. That's why he's got the contract extension, Garrison Schwartz. The number 4 2017 draft prospect out of the WAC. So don't be surprised if Garrison Schwartz gets the call from a major league team after the season.
Swing and a miss on that one. The throw down, they get him out. This is more than likely the last year at GCU for Garrison Schwartz. Typically, good players come out after their junior year when they're eligible. Sometimes, like Paul Panichone and Chad De La Guerre, they come on, they hang out for another couple of years just to kind of prove to the pros that they're worthy there, or maybe to improve their draft position. But yeah, Gary's looking pretty good in this one as Ian Evans steps up to the plate.
Yeah, Ian Evans, and if he can do what he did in community college ball, and he's been able to do here in the first series, we might only see him in a GCU uniform for 1 year as well, the way he's been playing, hitting that opposite field home run, just flicking the ball out there a couple innings ago. The 2 solo shots here. Pretty exciting game here on a Monday afternoon.
1-1 the count now to Evans. Yeah, he didn't look real great his first couple of bats, a fly out to right, a fly out to center, but man, really hit the ball hard to right, and it just carried out of here over there about that 335 mark. The 1-1. Foul back. Evans, a good cut on that one too. Down the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
4 for 11, a double, 6 RBIs and a home run for Ian Evans in his first career series for GCU in Division I baseball. Can't complain if you're Andy Stankiewicz.
Down low count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Stankiewicz produced 7 draft picks. He might have a couple more or a handful here after this season. Got a good junior class.
Chopper to the right side. Rosa gonna have to wait on it and hurry just in time to get the speedy runner Evans. So 2 up and 2 down. We are in the bottom of the 8th. Lopes with the lead, 4-0.
Third baseman, Jack Nally.
Yeah, Paulie Panachone drafted to the Nationals last year before. Chad De La Guerra goes to the Red Sox. Both those guys here at the ball game today.
Big Red Sox and Mariners fan, so hopefully Chad De La Guerra can get up into that loaded middle infield of the draft prospects that the Red Sox have. Dustin Pedroia and Zan Bogarts still thriving right now, so it's going to be tough to get them out of the lineup, but Chad De La Guerra going to put in his dues like Andy Stankiewicz did getting to the pros, and don't be surprised if you see him with the Red Sox sometime.
Malice fooled on that second one, down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Basso. Swing and a miss, got him to go in the dirt though. Newslifter's gonna toss it down there. So Basso, a good inning, a couple of strikeouts there. Got Schwartz and he got Malice, and gets the Lopes 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base through that heart of the order. But Vorhoff back on the hill. The Lopes just 3 outs away as we go to the 9th. 4-0 GCU with the lead.
There's an exciting new destination for food, fun, and relaxation in the heart of Phoenix. Come to GCU Hotel and Canyon 49 Grill, where our hospitality management students gain hands-on workplace experience and deliver unmatched service right alongside the staff. Enjoy beautiful amenities like the resort-style pool and full-service fitness center. From the gaming lawn and patio to the artisanal coffee and teas of GCBC, you'll never want to leave. Room rate $79 per night. Visit GCUHotel.com to book your visit today.
4-0 GCU with the lead as we go to the 9th. Tyler White came on in the last inning as a defensive replacement. The guy he replaced, Greg Sines, got things going for the Lopes in the 3rd with a solo homer. Lopes tacked on a couple more with some extra base hits in the 5th, and then a solo homer from Ian Evans in the 6th. So really all extra base hits accounting for the runs, and then a nifty little play there with runners at 1st and 3rd. Not sure it's nifty or not, but Conequigo got caught off the bag and they got in a rundown. The throw over to get Barnes at 3rd went off his body into shallow left field, and he was able to score. But either way, it's a 4-0 GCU lead. It'll be the bottom 3rd to face Mick Vorhoff, Rosa, Boone, and Chappell. Rosa's going to bunt up high, ball 1.
Yeah, and Rosa's been the best batter for Oklahoma State today.
Yep.
Singled back in the 4th and then singled in the 7th as well. Nobody been able to come around and score, but Rosa's gotten to 3rd every single time he's been on base, except for in the 2nd when he reached on an error by the second baseman.
2-0 the count. Yeah, Rosa's been on every time he's been up today. He's made some really nice defensive plays as well. That one in there for a strike, 2 ball and 1 strike the count. Well, Mick's got a 4-0 lead. Can't give up a 4-run homer to any of these guys yet, so go after him and try to get this game finished off. In there for a strike on the outside corner, low. Rosa cannot believe it. 2-2 the count now. Repovich looking for his first win of the season. Went 6 strong innings here. We'll be talking to him on the Lopes postgame show. The 2-2 in the air. Left side. Bull going out and calling everybody off in front of Quiggle. Makes the grab. 1 down. So 2 outs away now. Trevor Boone, the freshman DH, due up. Boone 1 for 3. Strikeout victim in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 5th. And he doubled in the 7th. In there for a strike. I was going to say that 7th was their best scoring opportunity, but you could say the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 7th were their best scoring opportunities. Had runners on 3rd every each and every one of those innings and couldn't get a run across. The 0-1. Had runners on third with less than 2 outs in each of those innings and couldn't get a run across. 1-1 the count to Boone. The Lopes looking to win the series here and go 2-1 on the season. Ripped in the left. Quiggle right at him. Takes a couple steps to his right and makes the grab. And now GCU 1 out away. Well, that was hit very well by Boone, but Quiggle took a step to his left. The ball hooked a bit. He took a couple steps to his right, and that was it. Now we're going to get a pinch hitter for Chapel. Lefty's going to come in. Number 24, Colin Simpson, 5'9" sophomore catcher out of Edmond, Oklahoma.
Yeah, he was the designated hitter the last 2 games. Hit 218, or 212, excuse me, last year with 18 hits, 9 RBIs, and he's going to try to lead things off and start a rally here with 2 outs in the 9th.
Fastball in there for a strike. I think you're right about not being afraid to pitch up into the zone. With Nathan Choate, the pitching coach for 5 years, who was really work things down, work things at the feet of the batters, a lot of sliders, a lot of breaking balls in the dirt. And the catching was at a premium there. Nicely picked by Barnes, but that's down low. And you're right, they're not afraid to come up high in the zone. You don't want to get it right in the middle of the zone, but high in the zone is not a bad place to be.
Yeah, it's tough to hit a ball that's around your waist. It's way easier to get a ball that's down in the zone that misses a little bit up. But
Popped
a ball
up. This might be it. A couple guys calling him off. Wyatt says, hey, I haven't got to do anything. Let me take it. Makes the grab, and that is the ball game. Well, a nice series for GCU as they get the victory and win it 4-0 here. And the coaches are going to shake hands. The players are all shaking hands. We'll have a post-game show and chat with Andy Stankiewicz and Jake Repovich, but let your great ball game for GCU. It could have gone either way early. Repovich and Benavides both pitched out of jams in about 4 of the 9 innings.
Yeah, Benavides had a big jam there. Repovich, second, third, and fourth, really dicey for him. Got out of him. Going to be excited to see what he has to say, what was working for him in those tough situations. But Greg Sines coming through, the difference maker. It only needed 1 run. Lopes taking it 4-0. That solo shot in the 3rd. The brace for GCU here on that solo shot. A big shot there for Sines, and then that solo shot from Evans in the 6th, and a couple of runs in the 5th were big runs there to be able to put the number 22 team in the country down here in Game 3, and they took the series from a very, very good Big 12 school in Oklahoma State.
Carson Teal gets the loss. He goes to 0-1. Repovich gets the win, goes to 1-0. Coaches chatting a bit over there, Greg Wallace and Rich Dorman and Andy Stankiewicz. And now Stankiewicz goes out to congratulate his squad. GCU goes to 2-1. Oklahoma State goes to 1-2. And yeah, it was really dicey for Repovich. Had bases loaded in the 2nd with 1 out, pitched out of that. Had runners at the corners in the 3rd, pitched out of that. Had a runner on 3rd with less than 2 outs in the 4th, pitched out of that. And then the 3rd inning, after Teal had been really cruising and retired 6 in a row, got behind in the count, a 3-1 count. Greg Sines hit a scorching line drive that cleared the wall in left center field for a 1-0 GCU lead. Stayed that way until the 5th inning when Pavica led off with a double after a ground out by Sines, put him over to 3rd. A double by Barnes brought him home. And Quiggle got a base hit. You had runners at the corners. Kona got picked off first as he was heading down to 2nd. Barnes started down home from 3rd. The first baseman, Williams, double clutched, threw late back to 3rd when Barnes was diving back. It hit Griffin and rolled down the left field line. And Griffin was able to come home to score. And it's a 3-0 ball game. And then, as you mentioned, Ian Evans had a couple of flyouts. He got all of the one in the 6th inning on a 2-1 count. Head in the count. It was an outside pitch, and he just lifted it down the right field line and was able to get the solo home run. And the Lopes come back and win it 4-0.
Yeah, good things from the entire lineup today. Greg Sines leading things off in that 3rd inning, and then another leadoff at bat from Pavica. If you can get a base runner on base to lead things off with no outs, you're more likely going to score than when you don't, when there's 1 out in the inning. Statistics show it's like 60 to 70% of the time you're going to score when you get your leadoff man on base, or at least get him to 3rd or 2nd base and put the opposing team and their pitchers in a worry of hurt GCU was able to do that with Preston Pavlik in the 5th inning, came around to score, and Greg Signs that leadoff home run in that 3-1 count. A hitter's count was able to drive that over the left field wall. Good quality series from GCU against Oklahoma State. Still that middle third, late innings guy is going to be up for grabs. AJ Franks, Gabe Benavides showing they could do it. And then Mick Vorhoffs really solidified that closer position after today.
Yeah, the Lopes win at 6-1, then they lose by 1, 6-5. They get 4 on the board here. So, 15 runs on 30 hits in this series, and come away with a couple of victories, win the series. We're going to stick around for a few seconds here. We'll have Coach Stankiewicz and the winning pitcher, Jake Repovich, coming up to chat with us before we get off the air here. I want to remind you, though, too, that for GCU coming up, they've got that exhibition ball game against the Diamondbacks out at Salt River Field on Wednesday. You can head out there. You can go to gculopes.com to get your tickets. But that's a 1:10 start. We'll be on the radio. I'll be on the radio on KFI 2, 12:30 a.m. at 1 o'clock. And you can follow the action there. And then the Lopes head out to Wichita State, a very good ball club, hasn't lost this year. Then St. Mary's hasn't lost. And back here at Brazil on March 10th against San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm jealous you get to call that game against the Diamondbacks. I wish we could have picked that up as a GCU TV broadcast, but I'm still hoping to try to get out to the game and watch it and maybe give you a little holler when you're calling before the game to say hi. But that's going to be a fun game for these guys to be able to play against prospects and guys that are trying to solidify positions with the Diamondbacks here in their first game of the season for spring training games.
Yeah, it's a fun thing the Diamondbacks have done, the D-backs Collegiate Baseball Series. They started out with ASU, they played U of A, and now they've got Grand Canyon. So Coach Stankiewicz is heading up here now to the press box, and we're going to get him on once he comes up, and we'll talk to Jake Repovich, and then Fletcher will be back, and we'll close things out. But a good victory for GCU. Repovich goes 6 innings, gives up 4 hits, no runs. He walked 1 and struck out 6, and really pitched himself out of jams in this one, and was able to come across with the victory. And the Lopes go to 2-1 on the season and get the victory. Oklahoma State plays tomorrow at Arizona State before they head back to the Midwest. And we are joined by the head coach, Andy Stankiewicz. And Coach, victory in the series. You guys win the series 2-1. And I talked to you a little bit before the game, asked you about your pitching, what you were pleased with. 3 quality starts. All 3 of your starters go 6 innings.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't ask for more out of opening weekends. Those 3 guys taking the ball and did a really good job of controlling the strike zone and able to go deep and give us a chance to win. That's all you can ask for. Great job.
And you're hitting guys pounded up 30 hits in 3 games against a really good staff.
Well, they are good, and the coach in me thinks we struck out too much. You know that.
I wasn't going to bring that up, Coach.
I know. It's front and center in my mind, but we did. We put some good at bats together. Strung some nice little. Use the opposite field, use the middle of the diamond, and just trying to get the guys to understand. It's one of our best is just staying at the middle of the diamond, and a couple of big hits to those opposite side gaps, and driving some big runs all weekend.
You know, Coach, Jake Repovich gets the win in this one, went 6 innings. Really had to pitch out of jams in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning. What did you see from him in those innings?
Well, it's typical Jake. Jake does a nice job of just kind of controlling his emotions. He knows who he is. He doesn't try to do too much. He'll take a little bit off. Throw a slider. Sometimes some young guys try to get too aggressive in those situations and try to run balls by people. He knows who he is. He doesn't try to be too tricky, and he knows that if he's down in his zone and keeping hitters off balance, he's got a chance, and that's exactly what he did in those innings where you're right. Those are big innings. He guys have some tough jams.
You know, Coach, a lot of names that we're familiar with coming back with Bull, Pavlica, LaRue, Schwartz, but some newcomers coming in. Who impressed you from some of the new guys this year?
Well, I like the job that Kona Quiggle did, as a freshman, kind of forced into playing, but he's really earned that opportunity. And Cuba Best, what he did last night coming off the bench, and I know we didn't win that ball game, but that was a big AB, and we got to figure out a way to get him more ABs because he's got a chance to be a nice player in our program. And so I liked the job that those two young men. Zach Mouse played a real nice third, and that's a position he hasn't played, and he's worked hard to become a real good third baseman. He made some nice plays for us this weekend. And so then Evans, the JC transfer, and the guy's since he's been here, all he's been able to do is put some nice, good at bats together. And so I like his athleticism at first base too, his ability to make some tough. Yesterday made some tough picks, and those picks he made, they kept us in that game, or at least kept it. It could have gone really south, but he made some nice plays to kind of stop them bleeding.
Hey, Coach, the next 3 series you have coming up, those guys haven't tasted defeat yet. You got Wichita State, then St. Mary's, and San Francisco. You put together a really great non-conference schedule, very, very tough non-conference schedule, but a chance to measure yourself against some really quality squads.
Well, that's been the idea since we've got here is challenge our guys and make our program better, and I've always felt like in order to do that, and we've got to play the best teams in the country, and facing Oklahoma State here this weekend, going to Wichita, and then like you said, we got St. Mary's, who was in the regional last year, and Noah Scott can go to Pepperdine at the very end of non-conference weekend. So, it's kind of what we want, and I think that's what the players want. It's part of recruiting is telling them they'll come here and they're going to get a chance to play against some of the big hitters around the country.
And, Coach, a fun one, the next one at the Diamondbacks, an exhibition ball game, but a fun one for the guys to get to play in a minor league facility against some pro players.
Yeah, no, it's a major league facility, right? So we're at Salt River.
That's right. Yeah.
No, they're excited. They're looking forward to it. And Diamondbacks are going to treat them well. We're going to take BP on the main diamond, and then they're going to feed us, and we'll be in the clubhouse. And so Diamondbacks are class act through and through, and so they're going to really, I know they're going to make sure our guys got a great experience.
Hey, congratulations on the series victory, Coach, and we'll see you out there at Salt River Fields on Wednesday.
You got it. Look forward to it.
That's head coach Andy Stankiewicz. We're going to get Jake Repovich in here in just a minute as we switch guys out here. But the Lopes get the victory, win the series. The final in this one is 4-0. GCU gets the victory, and as Jake Repovich makes his way over here, we'll get started here. But for the Lopes in this one, a very good win to win the series. No runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 9 left on for Oklahoma State. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and 4 left on for GCU. And the winning pitcher in this one is Jake Repovich, and he joins me now. Jake, 6 innings, you get your first victory of the year. And we'll talk a little bit about that second, third, and fourth inning in a minute here. But what was working for you today?
Well, today I just wanted to establish throwing the fastball in to get him off some of my other stuff because I knew late in the game that slider and the changeup had to play a part into it. So I really just tried to pound in, get a lot of ground balls, and especially like in those jams, that's definitely what was working. Especially the two seams to lefties was big, throwing in there.
What's your thought process when, I think the second, third, and fourth inning, you had guys on third bases loaded at one time with less than 2 outs. What's your thought process in those situations?
I just attack the hitters and let my defense play behind me as well. There are times where you need to bear down and get a strikeout, but there are also times where your defense needs to pick you up, and they did a fantastic job behind me today of just picking me up time after time after time. And it's awesome knowing that you've got an entire defense behind you that's just locked down. So
you had a pitching coach change in the offseason, Rich Dorman coming in. Mm-hmm. Has that changed the way you approach anything at all? Has he tweaked anything you were doing?
Yeah, we've made a lot of mechanical changes, some strength changes to get a little more velocity on the ball. Last year we focused a lot on pounding down in the zone and going in and out. This year we're opening up the top of the zone, the inside of part of the zone, everywhere. So throwing a lot of fastballs up this year, which I really like. It's an aggressive pitch, and it changes the eye level to the hitter. So there's plenty of adjustments just with me and him that we've worked on, and then adjustments that he's made to our pitching staff that I think is really, really bettered our staff, and we're gonna be good this year.
Yeah, 3 quality starts. Yeah, all the starters go 6 innings. Congratulations on the victory. You get your first victory of the year, and it's the series win over the number 22 team in the country. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Hey, congratulations, and we'll see more of you down the road.
Thank you very much.
That's Jake Repovich gets the win here, and this one today. Fletcher Like's going to step back in, and we'll close things out here on this broadcast. But a great pitching performances, very good pitching performances over the weekend. And, Fletcher and I were talking about it during the broadcast. And Jake Repovich agreed to it and said, yeah, Coach Dorman is really having us focus on all parts of the zone. And not just down and down and down, but we're pitching up too, and we saw that today, and so far, so good.
Yeah, he was saying before he came over here while you were finishing things up with Coach Andy Stankiewicz that changing eye level really messes with the hitter's philosophy and vision of the ball. And then when you can work it out and in as well, it's going to be really hard for batters and hitters to stay balanced and expect something that they think is going to happen, because GCU pitchers can come in with a pitch low and inside and then come high and outside the next pitch, and they're not expecting it. And it's something that's worked well all series long, except for that first couple middle thirds of the innings in that game 2 when Jensen Elliott was shoving and GCU didn't have an answer for it offensively.
Yeah, and, Coach Stankiewicz, they pound out 15 runs and 30 hits against the number 22 team in the country, but too many strikeouts. They struck out close to 30 times in this series as well, so that's something they will address.
Yeah, that's going to be something that definitely addresses seeing the ball better and being more selective at the plate. That's too many strikeouts. It's the first series of the season, and there's a really good pitching staff in Oklahoma State, but if you're going to hit the ball and smack the ball around the yard like they did, you got to have less strikeouts than that. So that's the one critique of GCU baseball so far.
Yeah, but they come away with 2 wins out of 3. They win the series, and great job for GCU. They get the victory here in this one, 4-0. Your final, Jake Repovich gets the win. Final thoughts on the series from you, Fletcher. You were here for all the games. A little bit rainy. We had to push them back, but final thoughts on the series from you.
I thought they battled all series long when they were in the face of adversity. Guys on base and scoring position multiple times. In just about every single game, there was guys on base in Oklahoma State on second and third, even with the bases loaded, and the pitchers were able to get out of them in stressful situations and then give the ball over to the offense, and the offense was able to take the ball and spray it around the yard and score some runs and give that pitching staff a little bit of breathing room, knowing, hey, like, I can get into a 3-2 pitch count with guys on base and runners in scoring position, and I know that my offense is going to produce and give me a cushion that I can make a mistake here and there, and it's not the end of the world, even though I want to battle and not get in those situations.
Well, that'll do it for us. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to remind everybody the Lopes play the Diamondbacks on Wednesday. That's a 1:10 start. I'll be on the radio with that at 12:30 a.m. And then check out GCULopes.com to follow the Lopes. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. And don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be streaming all the GCU baseball games at home, the softball games, you name it. We'll be streaming them on GCU TV. Thanks so much to everyone who made the broadcast work, all the cameramen, Gina running the show downstairs, and for everybody who joined us. Thanks so much. The Lopes get the victory, 4-0 the final in this one. They win the series 2-1 over Oklahoma State. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Go Lopes.